So I shall. Ah, we're getting so good at recording. Uh-huh.
We were not that good last night.
Yeah, last night I don't know what happened last night. That was weird. We don't talk about last night. Alrighty then. Ooh, I think I got a calendar out. Stuff's always happening. Stuff's always happening. Okay, we had a fairly interesting last session, I believe, as you guys have all come back to the Rock of Brawl. And I'm going to do a slightly extended recap for folks. So, it is a couple months after the Second Unhuman War, also known as the War of Revenge, as the orcish spacefaring race known as the Skrull did great battle across the astral space systems, across the wild space systems. These Skrull are unlike the normal orcs that are a little thick in the head but strong in the body. These Skrull are cunning and intelligent, fast, agile, very proficient with firearms, and they gave the Elven Armada a run for their money after about 7 years of war. Both sides finally called it quits when the Skrull were defeated, but the Elven Armada has not since been the spacefaring police force that it once was. And now, veterans of the war must find their way out in wild space. And so, the New Dawn has been established under Captain Winterbow, a famous war veteran and a very skilled uh, like warlord, war commander of the whole war, and has invited a crew of sort of special individuals onto his ship um, to help them find work, to help them train up, and maybe even help them procure their own ships in the future. Um, and that is sort of Lunarbow's design, is to take on the frontiers it was meant to be taken on, for all of its lawlessness and all of its potential to do good. Um, so today you all find yourself at the Rock of Brawl trying to find work for the crew, for the captain. Um, Chaplain decided to go to the edge and create the first ski shoot. He was rewarded with a round of free drinks for his crew. Huzzah! Um, Basson and Varsh Voidlight went to the library to continue their investigations into Gith lore, into the lore of lunar dragons, as Varsh has seemingly found himself the master of a lunar dragon. A small wormling dragon egg hatched, and now Varsh must have it not eat people. Very important. Let's see what else. The captain was able to convince the capital in raising the contract price on the I think it was a abyssal horror. I don't know what it's called, but raise the price on that to make it worthy of the ship taking it on. With Xeno Incorporated Ltd as their side benefactor, split it 50-50. Zalace made contact with Meriden Sandyfoot, the local crime lord, and was offered a contract to smuggle firearms to traders on the neutral planet of Glyph, an individual known as Dragonbluff. After investigating, what they had in stock, seeing if they weren't being duped, a offer was made where basically that they would buy 3,000 gold pieces of firearms from them and sell them for whatever price they could, but would be owed to Sandyfoot another 1,000 from the profits. To which the captain was forced to accept, having viewed the operations too much to be able to back out, and had a very tenuous moment where he must convince the crew that this was the contract to take. Because we run it democratically around here, and we want to make sure the crew agrees with the contract that's being had. So, with the help of the party, Lunarbow was able to convince the crew to take on Sandyfoot's gun running contract, and then the additional contract of taking down the abyssal horror that has made its way into the wild space system. And that is where we start off today, as the crew has accepted the smuggling cosmic horror contract. The ship is being loaded with the firearms and preparing to set sail, but that is not where we're going to start our session. No, sir. No, sir, at all. I would like to speak to our redacted friend. Tell me, you're here on the Rock of Brawl. What kind of tavern do you think you're drinking in today? Are you a middle class guy? Are you a dive bar kind of guy? What kind of guy are you?
I am wherever the equivalent of $2 PBRs will be sold. That is where I'm at. I
So yeah, that sounds
I like them
diving.
cheap. I like them fast. The better they get the job done, the more I'm gonna drink them.
Can't argue with that, sir. So if that's the case, let's go take a look at the rock and roll here. You are going to be in this super fucking dive bar called the Rock Rat. It is as about as divey as it gets around here. Um, oh, come on now, come on, work with me, work with me. There we go. It is a dilapidated, filthy building. Its only conscientious decoration are a few hanging pieces of damaged nautical gear. And as you're drinking, this were rat sort of comes up to the bar, or it comes down the bar as it seems to be the main bartender. Her name is Maya, and she goes, "The fuck you want? You want some more fucking drinks? You fuck, fuck."
Do I have to curse too to order, or is
What do you
that?
mean? Of
Or
course not.
I so I'll just take your cheapest ale. Fuck, fuck it.
Fucking
Uh,
right. Fuck.
yeah,
And
yeah. I only really have two in me.
she'll charge you 1 copper for the most sketchy ale on the rock. Um, and you drink it, and it's warm, and it stings, but it's ale. And here you are, my friend. Here you are. And she says, "Take your time, enjoy sipping that. You fucking fuck shit, fuck." And she walks away. um, and you find yourself with a little drink. There's some other people. It's very shady, some like gif over in the corner and sort of shitty clothing, or maybe some criminal looking folk around here. This is the ultimate. This is the big dive, buddy.
I I really wouldn't take any space. Like I should probably describe myself, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Or
describe yourself as you're standing here in the bar with your cheap ale.
so. My name's Ed York. I look like an Earth Genasi. I look like I'm made out of moon rock, like very like white, yellowy sort of moon rock with a jutting out purple dark crystal for kind of looks like a little flat top. I wear one piece jumpsuit and I've got my one arm exposed shows that I have a lot of they're sort of like etchings, kind of like carved into stone, but they look like rockabilly tattoos, just like random little images here. Some may stick out as peculiar, but not really. Like you might see a cat, you might see a little smiley face, a little angry, but I am covered in them from head to toe. I my outfit is probably the loudest thing on me. And for the most part, I spend most of my time to myself. And I'll be here having a couple of these fucking nails. Fuck,
Fair enough.
that's it.
Yeah, you can pop down as many coppers as you want. You can be the proud owner of as many of those somewhat difficult to swallow ales as you like. Why don't you make me a con save?
Okay. I let's do this. Let's go
You've
be.
been roofied.
Oh
I'm kidding.
shit.
I'm kidding.
That is an 8 total.
8 total.
Yeah.
You're feeling like a little buzz in the head, a little tipsy, but you're also feeling your stomach is already beginning to roll, and you're like,
Okay.
"That's not that stage of drug. What are you talking about?" These might be some intense ales that you've been drinking, but yeah, nothing comes
Dude.
up the hatch. But your stomach is like, "Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?" Um, as you're drinking, the door's gonna open, and very unlike the rest of the individuals here, you're going to see this somewhat somewhat robed, sort of mage-like robed elven woman with long blonde hair, circlet, um, has the look of just like a spacefarer about her, um, and she'll sort of enter the bar and kind of look around at like the squalor, and we'll look at you. Kind of pulls her head around, and she'll walk up to the bar, and the bar woman will come over, and she goes, "Welcome to the Rock Bread, you fucking bitch. What would you like to drink?" She goes, um, uh, whatever he's having. She'll go, "Okay, glad to have you here." And she'll go away and produce one, and she'll take 4 copper out and be like, "Thanks for the tip." Be like, "I didn't. Oh, really? Okay, sure." And she'll sip it. She'll look over at you and she'll say, "Where did you get the tattoos?"
Uh, just around, you know, here and there. I wouldn't take it personal, by the way. She told me fuck like 6 times. I think it's her thing, sort of.
Huh. She kind of like looks down the bar, and the were rats there like organizing some old half sort of sticky bottles, and she's like, "Oh my fucking, hello dear, what can I fucking get you?" She's like, "Oh, I see. No, that's fair. Um, say, are you crewing a ship by chance?"
No, actually, uh, that's what I'm here for. I'm kind of looking for something. Been freelancing a long time, and not really good at it though, because it's been, well, you know, if you're freelancing, you gotta get a lot of jobs, and I've kind of had no jobs in a long
Right,
time.
right. Were you in the war?
Oh yeah, you know, it was a good hand. I can build stuff, and you know my way around some ship controls and whatnot, and you know, I can,
Build stuff.
yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, I hope I'm not bragging. That sounds like a lie. You know, I know how to put stuff together. I'm not saying you can't put anything together. I'm sure you can put stuff together. I'm just, you know, it's just the guy, you know, gets around and he starts, you know, builds a few things, and it's kind of what he gets to know for. I'm Ed, by the way.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I think it's oil. It's doing a number on my insides. You know what I mean?
right, yes. You got mine if you want. Yes. Where's my manners? I'm Spelljammer Larodi Sutha.
Oh,
I will put that in the chat for you.
I
I'm an elf, so
yeah.
we naturally have names that are very hard to pronounce and remember.
No, yeah, you know, they'll let me stop. I mean, my family we kind of stuck to like the sounds. Like my dad's Earl, Erler. Like I call him Earl. My brother's Ev. I'm Ed. Ed and Ev. You know, it works. It works. It's uh,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we always could use more people to put things together.
oh
You're
shit.
is that what you are? You're a bosun?
That's a that title has a lot more weight than I do. I kind of, you know, just show up and build what I'm requested. There's that build word again. You know, it's yeah. If you're taking applicants, I sure can show up.
We've got 1 or 2 more spots left on the ship. If you think you're a capable crewmate for Spelljammer,
Uh, Ed looks down at his oily cup and uh, hmm. You know, can I look at the ship? I talk ship much better than I do like people or you know. Or about myself really. You know, I mean, just yeah, that I if I'm gonna sign on, I'd love to get a look at it from the outside.
only seems fair. Only seems fair. But I do not think you'll be disappointed if this is your uh, standard. She sort of looks around the bar again and is like, the floors make a horrible sound as you guys begin to walk out from all the drinks that have been spilled. Um, the
Pretty nice
proprietor
place,
goes,
huh?
yes, it's lovely. And you hear Maya say, "Well, fucking come back sometime. It was a pleasure having you. fuck? And you
Yeah,
guys
fuck
can...
you, you know.
Well, that's quite rude, young man. And
I'm sorry.
I can't help it. I have Tourette's. But you
Oh
can.
shit.
So think of that. And
And is just devastated. Like he's just if he
Oh,
could like go
no.
pale, he'll go pale. Like
he goes, I'm just fucking with you. Just get out of here. I don't have Tourette's.
oh,
I like cussing. I love it. I love it. No one will ever
Oh.
stop me. And she's like, let's get the fuck out of here. And she like pulls you out of the bar. No one will ever stop me. Swear you fucking cunt. And you come outside to see a large crew of about 19 elves, mostly elves, they're well-equipped plasmoids, maybe a Glyph, maybe a Hadozi or two, aboard a cutting-edge space galleon. It's like it looks somewhat new. It's seen a couple scrapes here and there by some of the damage to some of the boarding. Not even damage, but more like wear. A little wear shows a battle or two in space, perhaps. The crew looks quite capable, just very clearly by the way they conduct themselves and loading things onto the ship. And the ship is like, it's new and it's seen a scrape or two, but it's that new where it's like that fresh car smell new, where it's like there's a lot of potential. It hasn't been retrofitted at all.
I is in between like walking, seeing like the big crews and stuff. Do I see any like insignias or anything I might recognize, like any wording from like going from hub to hub or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
Oh, there we go. That's my lucky number tonight. Today. 7.
7. Damn, you do recognize some words. In common, it says New Dawn right on the side of the ship there. You recognize that.
Nice. And, I think I'm looking over like I imagine the ship scene outside and just kind of like taking a second for myself, just kind of taking in the ship, even if I'm not seeing it too well. Wow, this fucking this is your crew or there's a lot?
No, I'm just the Spelljammer. Perhaps you might have heard of the reputation of Captain Alicon Lunarbow.
That's an official ass name. I like that. I've been working mostly with a little bit under the radar sort of deal, so and it doesn't quite ring a bell, but
Are you a smuggler?
I've taken things incognito. If that's what you're asking before, and during war times, you got to make viable how you can, right? And I'm pretty good at keeping my head down. And like I said, I've piloted before, if that's what you're asking.
So you are a Spelljammer as well.
Yeah, sure.
This is good. This is good. We could use more pilots for what's coming.
Well, what's coming?
We have a big contract. Very lucrative. A little risky, but nothing we can't handle.
Oh, well, I'm really looking for a little bit of a startup. I sort of in between jobs, like I said. So, I need a hand. I've been I'd love to hand you one. But and he extends his hand finally, like.
Yep, and she'll shake it, and she'll say, "Well then, why don't you make yourself useful?" And she'll sort of nod. And you kind of turn around, and this big gift says, "Oh, what would he say to you?" He says, "Oh, you new? Welcome. Here, I'll take this." And suddenly, a big box in your hand. He said, "Just hold that up in there." And then the Spelljammer will say, "Right. Maybe, yes, help us make some moves, and I'll introduce you to the captain and see if you get the job."
Absolutely. Take your time. Ed looks like relieved to take grunt work, like less talking and more like lifting. He's into it. You know what I mean? So he's almost hiding right into that.
Incredible, incredible. And I think you catch a couple like good looks from the Spelljammers. You just like are given work and you just go work. And that sort of was like, all right, good, cool, cool. Like to see it.
Don't worry about me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, at a certain point, so you get onto the ship and you're loading up the ship. And this is the best way I think to introduce people. As you're loading the ship, and you get up onto the deck of the ship, you look around, and it's a nice ship. It's clearly well maintained. The deck is swabbed nicely. But you see something rather unusual off in the corner. You don't expect to see on ships often. You see a small rabbit, just like chilling in the corner, sort of like a white like a white Arctic bunny, like just like cleaning its little head. And then it looks over at you.
I'll like poke one of the guys, like I'll tap him on the shoulder. I think the kitchen lost something.
One of the crew members, we're gonna say it's one of the elves goes, "Oh yeah, totally. You should go return it to them." Right.
You're
Glad you
not
did it.
fucking with me or anything, are you?
No, not at all.
All right. Yeah, sure. And Ed's gonna
You
try
look,
and do one of these.
you look back,
Like,
there's like 3 other guys with him now, and they're like,
all right. I am the new guy, so and
"Hey Chaplain, could you roll your bag for me?" One of those is a rabbit at this point, if you haven't caught on yet. You're also muted to see it.
Yeah, sorry, I did figure that's what was coming.
Prepare for the greatest character entrance of all time.
Oh, goat, normal goat, and a giant boar.
Goat, a normal goat and a giant boar. Okay, so you go up to this rabbit, and Jord. The rabbit's like over here. You look back. The elves are like, "You're doing great." You go to like get it, and suddenly like the door to the lower deck flies open. You see a fucking billy goat, and what was the other one? What did you get?
Giant boar.
You see, oh, okay. Holy fuck, a giant boar is huge, aren't they? They're like, so you see a billy goat running out going, and then you see a giant boar go chasing after it, and just sort of, and just like they're going fucking crazy, and you see there's this like little golden gnome sitting on the back of the giant boar. It comes charging out, and the rabbit like jumps and goes flying off, and you turn around just in time to see these like tusked herbivores attack. Chaplain, would you like to describe your character?
Sure. So he'll come to a screeching halt on the back of his giant boar, very cartoonishly. And he is, as Ryan mentioned, he's an honor gnome, but he's very like some honor gnomes are built to be very utilitarian and practical. Chaplin clearly was not. He has very ornate pieces and very like and a lot of precious metal worked into his body and appendages. Lots and lots of gold, either plate or leaf. Lots of brass, copper, metals that are shinier and more ornate in nature. Also, it doesn't look, along the same lines, doesn't look like he's just been put together, to perform certain mechanical or physical tasks or whatever. Like someone purposely created him to be, fairly human-like, or not human-like, but humanoid-like. So other than that, he has a non-mobile faceplate, so it's all just one formed like molded piece. The lips, the jaw doesn't move at all. But there is a slit, eyes, normal humanoid gnome-looking face. But his eyes do light up from time to time, depending on what he's processing. And he tends to tilt his head and move his hands, like any normal humanoid might in conversational gesture.
Yeah. So you see this very unique and well-decorated auto gnome astride a giant boar with a goat in tow, and as you're going for the rabbit, they kind of like as your hands are right there, like bursts out from the lower decks.
I
Oh, and
definitely like
he
fell
seems
back.
to be having the time of his life, by the way.
Yeah, and Chaplin's like, yeah, and you're like on the back, like riding the bull kind of, and you fall back and see this on the middle of the deck, and apparently everyone else is really used to this because they're all just standing to the side going, like watching the whole scene.
I thought you were supposed to like kill food before it's on the ship. Are you the cook?
Oh, these aren't food. These are my friends. Actually, speaking of that, have you seen Varsha's pet around here anywhere?
What's a varshes?
Oh,
Do you think this is about the perfect time for a snack to happen, Barsh? We'll say in this moment, Chaplin's like, have you seen Varsh's pet around? And you're like, what's a Varsh's pet? And the rabbit, who's like up against the wall, kinda, is suddenly a reptilian head, like in a ghostly ethereal way, comes out of the wood of the lower deck and just like eats the rabbit, and then fully flies up and out of the floor like a ghost and lands on the deck, and it's a fucking dragon. It's a fucking dragon with like almost like lunar looking scales, large round spines, just sort of like a ghost shark, just shoots up out of it, eats the rabbit, and then rolls across the deck and like licks its lips. And charging up out of the lower deck, as it has happened again, you will see Mr. Voidlight. What do you look like?
Marsh, he did it again. This thing is a
So you see so if you see Planet of the Apes are like that, these are Hadozi, they're monkey people. But they are also somewhat fused with like flying squirrels. They have wing flaps so they can extend to glide around. Vash looks to be sort of like in his 50s. He's got a few like strands of grey hair here and there. Although he looks a bit panicked right now, he does in general carry himself with like the bearing of a seasoned soldier. And he has these kind of like deep amber eyes and has a consistently hostile expression. His hair's tied back in a pretty long ponytail, has a beard, and his clothing is relatively kind of like shows a lot of skin for a guy, but it's just to work with his wings. And he carries a sword just at his side. And
What the fuck is that? 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 At the dragon.
And it like looks back. You see this dragon has also got a black, like almost like a key insignia sort of on its head. You don't know if it's like a birthmark or something, but it's there. And then yes, you see Varsh. You come running out. You see your dragon.
it is clearly what your eyes perceived. It is a dragon. One moment, Etherith, you can't eat the animals. They're not real. And it's not speaking of draconic. They are formed from magic. They provide you no sustenance.
And at that moment, I think there's like the two bunny ears are still like hanging out of its mouth, and then it just sort of like disappears as the final crunch is had, and it sort of it kind of humps disappointedly.
Yeah. I start to stand up, getting the like, okay, if he's talking to it, maybe it's his pet, maybe it'll be fine. But I'm definitely clearly like, I have not seen many dragons or a dragon, but here I am, seeing one.
My apologies, Chaplain. I have impressed upon Etherith that your animals lack meat.
Is this a thing that happens?
There are nicer ways to say that,
Lack flesh. I'm working with a creature that's just seems to be fueled by its stomach. I'm working what I've got here. And I look to Ed. You're a new face.
Yeah, I'm hoping to keep my face. Right? Yeah. Is there any more surprises around here? And he starts like looking, like waiting for the next thing to pop up.
You make a perception check. See if you see anything else that's particularly terrifying.
Oh boy, one more. That is an 8.
An 8. You see that there's 2 ballista on the front of the ship that are kind of being watched by a crew member each. Mangonel at the back of the ship, fairly standard loadout for a galleon. Crew members wandering here and there, plasmoids, elves, like I said.
One particular elf is really feeling himself right now.
Yeah. But as of obviously with that roll, no, nothing else particularly unique. Yeah.
Well, I'm Ed, by the way. I was brought on as new head, but I hello, I guess. Are you guys in the crew or there is a crew, right?
Yes. I am Vash Voidlight. I act as an assistant to Aura Songquo as a navigator.
And Chaplain will bend forward and reach down from the top of his giant boar and put a hand forward, but not too far, so that you have to get like real close to it.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of these like reach overs.
Right. He says,
Cautious.
"Hi, I'm Chaplain, High Priest of Maglubier."
Ah, yeah. Well, I'm at Yord. I build stuff.
Well, then we might get to see each other. I'm the bosun on board. I help fix things.
Oh, cool. I wanted to get a better look at the ship before I took the job, but now I'm in here. It's definitely been something so far. You guys been working together long, or you still kind of like the animals are around? So he's like,
Oh, not too long, but we've been a couple of places yet. Come on, we'll show you around.
oh, thank you. And he'll follow. Keep probably closer to Chaplin than Marsh and his buddy, but
Yeah.
he'll start following.
Figure walks up to you, Ed, and starts like looking at you with its fucked up goat eyes. Just like looking at you, it's like right up in your space, like sniffing the air around you.
I'm gonna cautiously offer towards like the horns a little fist bump with like
Make an animal handling check.
Here we go. Watch this be like a 19. Okay, that's better. 12.
Kind of fun. Yeah, you put your hand out and you kind of like touch the horns with it, and like maybe between the horns, and it kind of like lets you itch it, and it kind of and then walks away demonically as goes. Yeah, absolutely. You guys are gonna. Oh well, actually, as you go to show him around, I think the Spelljammer gets on the ship. She goes, "Mr. Jord, are you not working today?"
Oh shit! Right. I should get back to my assembly line. Can we put a pin on that tour? And like Ed's now clearly realizing I've got a job that I agreed to before this.
I'd recommend at some point familiarizing yourself with Etheris so that it learns your scent and that you are friend, not food.
Is that Etherif? And he points to the dragon.
Correct.
You see him. You see Ed mouth a very long. And then, sure, and he, like he's got his goggles on, but behind his goggles, and he looks like he's leaning in. He's doing that thing when when you like close your eyes friendly towards cats. Like he's like doing that, but he's totally forgetting he has his goggles on right now, so it's not really noticeable.
Do you okay? You try and like, and you do this by accident. Why don't we call it like a animal handling check at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Because the move you're using is invisible, so to speak.
All right. So
Oh,
that's
no.
gonna be a 5.
No.
No, you turn and you look over at you have, and as I've often described it, you have that like Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok, where
Yeah.
he's like the sun's getting really low to the Hulk, and he's got this like stupid look on his face. He's like, I'm doing so great right now, before the Hulk like punches him across the stadium. So you come over and you're like, try to do some like Jurassic Park like raptor shit. Dragon just kind of was kind of like staring off into space, literally. And then you kind of start doing this, and then it kind of looks at you and looks a little like surprised that there's a hand in his face. He kind of tilts his head at it. And he's gonna kind of look at you, Varsh, and you can see him like,
No. No, Etherith.
and
No.
the key sort of like there's a little plume of light from the key on his forehead. He kind of and he makes these like disappointed like growling sounds. His head starts.
Oh, he's smiling. I think he likes me, huh? I see its teeth. It's got shark teeth.
We'll work on this.
Wait, is this not going well right now? Ed's still petting it. I feel like it's going well.
Did you say that Ed was made out of like moonstone?
Yeah, it's like mostly moons. He's like Ganassi, but definitely more moonstony than not. Like more rocky than not. You know, the thing, quite deal.
Vash sort of like stares at your hand, narrows his eyes a little bit. Well, we'll see.
And
I think at that point you hear the Spelljammer once more. Is like, Mr. George, this is not a petting zoo.
I could have fooled me, and he like mumbles going up.
Fair enough. Grab your boxes. You head below deck. You're leaving the zoo behind. You head into the lower deck, and there, you sort of follow the train of consciousness, kind of, and just sort of you find out where to like drop all the bins off. And you are gonna run into, I think quite aptly is sort of running the operation down here in the basement, is making sure everything is going where it should be. I think you see, probably the most unique humanoid creature on this ship. Arguably, you see a Glyph, which are very dangerous creatures, and typically not seen in polite society. But here is a Glyph who seems to be directing the flow of work. In fact, Hassan, would you like to introduce us to what you look like?
Yeah. So Bisan is roughly elf-shaped, but heroin chic and kind of Michael Phelps. So tall, skinny, like maybe a little too skinny, but broad in the shoulders. Arms maybe a little longer than your standard proportion. Ears look like elves. Kind of doesn't have a nose. Like the nose part's almost. It's not skeletal, but like you don't have the cartilaginous part that makes it a nose. Really pale green eyes. Darkish, like a dark, almost greenish olive skin with almost like sort of flame-shaped markings in a darker color that come on her like cheekbones and across her forehead and stuff. She's in chain armor that's largely in browns. Really nondescript, kind of really dark red hair, shield, strange sword. She's got a strange wooden sword at her belt. And she is in a very, not quite haltingly, like she speaks the language, but words are hard, kind of directing things from one place to another. You get the idea that she's good with tactical assessment and organizing.
Okay. You see and to be clear, we'll tell you what, because this is going to come up anyway, I imagine. Make me a quick history. Yeah, we'll call it a history check to see what you know about Gith.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I actually do have some gift stuff with that. Well, I can tell you privately, but because Ed speaks gift and stuff, so this should be fun. But it is connected to him a little bit.
All right, cool.
Finally, there we go. That is a 17 plus 3, 20, dirty 20.
30-20. So yeah, you know a bit about the Gith, and you know that like as far as appearances go, like has a lot of standard Gith appearance, the sort of greenish, sort of sickly yellow skin, the upturned, almost bat-like nose, the thinner sort of proportions, very Gith. Obviously the tattoos. Well, I'll leave that to you, Basan. Are your tattoos sort of religiously symbolic in any way, or are they more aesthetic?
They are aesthetic.
Okay, yes. So you don't recognize the tattoos. You don't know if that's some part of the Gith culture that you're not aware of. But obviously the most difficult thing to know about a Gith is whether they're Gith Zerai or Gith Yankee. Gith Zerai are heavily isolated monks who are masters of the psionics, and the Gith Yankee are basically horrible space marauding pirates. And you're not sure which you're looking at here, but it's unique to see either one on a ship in the Rock of Brawl, or on the Rock of Brawl at all. So probably the most unique humanoid on the ship you see, sort of just directing the flow of work, and maybe Basan even tells you where to put your box in that moment.
Yeah, Ad'll just he's taking a minute to regroup, kind of like as he went down, but he'll be falling in line with this something like building it,
Okay.
kind of respecting the gift space and all that.
Mm-hmm. Basan, you do not recognize this person. An intruder, perhaps? I don't know. You can deal with that however you want.
Who are you? What is that? And she'll point at whatever's your hand.
Me, I'm Ed Yord. I'm a new hand. I build stuff.
Ed Jord, what do you do?
I really good at building stuff. If you need something built, I've kind of been very not good at this whole first day thing.
Building stuff is like fixing. You should talk to Chaplin. He can give you an assignment.
I think I met Chaplin and his friends.
She's actually already, like, depending on what's going on, if things are actively being moved, she's very focused on her work. If things are less, like, can you tell me what that's like so I know how much?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can give him?
And I think that makes perfect sense for your character. So she comes up to you and talks to you with those almost like, not quite cat eyes, but the same sort of slit eyes. Maybe, I think they have like slight round parts in the actual formation of their eye, which is probably cool to see right up close. And you're like, oh, like, Ed Jord clearly sounds like a friendly guy. And he's like, oh yeah, like I'm just putting wherever. And then Basan's like, almost robotically, like, okay, I'm done with you now. And then like reports off to go help them manage where to put the next box. And I'll tell you what, our last crew member we need to introduce. Perhaps you see this new Earth Genasi fellow looking a little like a lost cat, as Basan sort of abandons him to the workflow down here. As you come down the stairs with your own box, perhaps. Would you have any interest in guiding this new fellow?
Hi. Who are you?
I'm Ed.
First things first, Celeste, why don't you describe what your appearance looks like so Ed Jordan knows what he's looking at?
Okay, so Zalace is a halfling, male, brown hair, olive skin, shortish, cloaked in normal garb, but wears like a cowl and a cloak. So that's his appearance. You don't see any weapons on him because they're covered, but he does have a rapier tucked away, and a couple of daggers, that sort of thing. Other than that, he's a little bit shifty looking, a little bit shifty as a character, maybe. But he's also new to the ship as well. Well, newish.
So you see this somewhat more discreet looking member of the crew approach you and ask if you're all right.
Instinctively, I like tighten my legs, keeping any goods close. I'm Ed. Ed Yord. I'm the new hand here, and kind of definitely getting a lay of the place. And it's kind of like focusing on his work here. He keeps going. He's like moving the boxes there. It, you said your name was. I didn't think quite caught that. I'm sorry. You're getting a lot
Right.
recently. So.
My name's Zalace.
Nice. Nice to formally meet you. Are you a member here of the crew?
Yeah, I'm quite new to the crew. I'm an artillerist. I work up the front. Ballistas, that's me. But yeah, yes, not the new boy. That's what I like. Anyway, is there anything I can help you with?
I guess you just if you're new too. What am I getting? What am I getting myself into here? Seems like an interesting bunch.
Well, be careful of the dragon. I don't like it, but I've been feeding it some apples now and again. Seems to be okay with that. Just take your time. Don't get too close. I don't, because I'm small and it most probably see me as a snack. Don't like it. But everybody else seems to be okay. The son, yeah, she's very dedicated. Doesn't have time for small chat. So unless you want to talk to her about something specific, you might not get a conversation. Chaplin's all right. He's good. Be careful though. Watch yourself around him. You'll find him. But he's a good lad. And Vash is, well, how do we put this? He's the deal in a group. You have any good ideas? You just sort of like groans and moans and, well, just if you've got any good ideas, just come see me in Chaplin. We'll sort them.
All right, yeah. Thanks for the offer and the info. I really appreciate that. It's been honestly, I've never really just kind of worked with my brother and my dad for most of my life, and spent most of the war alone. I didn't really, took an odd job here and there, just kept my head on, But thanks again. Yeah.
That's
You
fine.
said you're an artillerist. You said so. You're working in the you
Yeah,
got to look at the innards of the ship. But what can you tell me about that?
not all really. Engines aren't my thing. What they do on the Spelljammer is far beyond me. I'm just quite happy to have a job. You know what I mean? Artillery, I'm all right with that. I can shoot. I can shoot well. Doesn't matter how big it is. That's what I do. I keep the magical stuff to the magic people. That's not me.
All right. The lace you can shoot. Thanks again. Let me formally. Now he finally offers his head. Thank you firmly.
And I was shaking back.
Do you
Just
need anything built?
anything,
Oh,
anything you need, just come and find me. I'll be either at the front or below decks. keep out of the way of that dragon. But yeah, all right.
Likewise, absolutely. And it feels a little bit more relieved about that one. And
Cool.
but just kind of stay steady working.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So with that, you do a little bit more work, and soon enough, the ship will find itself ready to depart. In which, I imagine Ed, being sort of the happy to labor individual that you are, just work away a little bit, and you realize you've probably seen the most interesting members of the crew at this point, and no other grand surprises fall on you. You run into, just standard members of the crew that you'd expect from the port of the Rock of Brawl. And as the work sort of begins to come to an end, you are called up to certainly not the forward deck, the aft deck, and there you will meet a most peculiar individual. You see with black eyes like the void, but glowing orange pupils like two small suns. This beautiful elven man with long blonde hair, and just has like a really like something about his face is really says like we can do it. He's just like seems like a really inspiring guy just by his sheer look on his face. He has an array of sort of reds and blues in his clothing, but very much looks equipped to captain the ship. The counterpart to the Spelljammers, you reach the top and you meet the captain, clearly Captain Lunarbow. And he looks at you and says, "Well, good afternoon, sir."
Hi, yeah, I'm Ed. I just got on. Um,
Captain Elkin Lunarbow.
Returns the handshake. Oh, the captain. I suppose I should thank you for hiring me, or well, hopefully hiring me.
Well, let's check you out. You seem to pull your weight, which is important. You told the Spelljammer that you have a relationship with the war, and if you're not comfortable, by all means, you don't need to go into terrible detail. But this is a ship full of veterans, individuals who fought or dealt with the war more personally. You said that you might have a similar background?
Oh yeah. My dad and my brother and I, we come from a long line of we build stuff. We supplied the war with well, what war needs, right?
Yes, and the Spelljammer did mention that you have a proficiency with building things, as you say. Could you be more specific? Are you a carpenter? Are you a smith?
I'm an artificer.
An artificer, you say?
Yeah, I artifice stuff. I'm an artificer.
That's excellent. Do you have a specialization?
I you know, I was gonna ask you why, but I guess you're gonna hire me. You should know. We specialize in weapons design, and that's definitely getting nervous.
Because that's a very remarkable and unique skill out here that is highly sought after. If you don't mind my saying so, you seem uncomfortable sharing that fact.
Well, it's like you said, the war, and sometimes stuff that you build in war stays with you, and well, I'm really bad at talking about my work. I kind of just let it speak for me, not in an artistic way, just more in like I really hate talking about myself way.
I understand. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're going to be aboard this ship, the only thing that we ask from you is that you do your work, you respect your crew around you as if they were your own family, and be honest when you speak to me, and you will get along just fine around here.
Of course, I may not be good about talking about it, but my work speaks true. And if
Excellent.
you have mine, and I'll give you my all. Must
Excellent.
know my way around a ship or two. So if you need anyone, you know, when he kind of makes a series of piloty sounds, he's really
And
digging himself that hole right now in the job interview.
yeah, he goes, and a pilot. Well, we for what's coming, we might hang on just dog's just the mail. Says, well, we might need pilots, and an artificer skilled with weaponry is certainly not going to be passed up around here. So you will receive a 2 gold wage a day, and whenever we come through with a major contract, you will get a split of that share as a bonus for completing a contract. And it is my intention here to make sure everyone's pockets are filled, that we take work that we all democratically are comfortable with. We can pick and choose our contracts, but sometimes we do what we're sent our way. We want to do good, but sometimes we have to make sure we remind ourselves we're mercenaries here. And again, treat your crew fairly, and they will treat you fairly. And you should get along just fine around here. Sound fair?
Shit, yeah, I never really get much of a say in work I take. I kind of just take and go. It's always been that way. My brother Ev, he's more of a go-getter, as they say. But yeah, but consider me aboard.
Fair enough. Well, let's get up in the air. And with that, he dismisses you and shakes your hand and says, welcome aboard the New Dawn. You can count yourself an official crew member of the New Dawn. And yeah, and you go down into the lower deck and you find yourself a bunk to, put your bag in along with the crew. And you feel the rumble of the ship and maybe find your way back above top deck as you see the ship begin to thrum as the magic sort of wraps around the ship and pulls it up and out of port as it begins to sail up and away from the Rock of Brawl, preparing its flight into wild space. And you guys have the run of the ship, and that is where we're gonna just go into a little travel here. But you guys will notice that this hand that was brought on to move some shit, he seems to still be here. It seems that he must have impressed the captain enough to earn a bunk here, as you see him putting his stuff in one of the bunks. And you guys have a couple days ahead of you as you travel out to the further reaches of wild space, and you can do whatever you want now that you're all on this ship together. And that goes for you as well, Ed Jordan. If you want to talk to some crew members, whether they be NPCs or not, up to you. Same goes for all of you guys. You know how it works here. So let me know if there's anything anyone would like to do on this first day as the ship takes off from port on its way to Glyph.
I think Ed would try and meander his way towards wherever an engine source is potentially viewed, or just that sort of just to surround himself by machinery for a little bit of comfort.
Absolutely. So if you're going into the helm, you are going to find your way into get off of there. Get off of there, you son of a bitch. You will find your way to, you're like, hey, where's the Spelljammer helm? And they'll direct you towards the Spelljammer helm. And you're going to find, actually, I don't think she would be in the chair right now. You see Lorati Suthra sort of standing near to the outside of her room. And you see another individual sitting in the chair, similar to the captain, has sort of those astral elf eyes, maybe not quite as gleaming, but maybe there is a little starlight in the eye. Another individual, sort of tied back red hair, sitting in the this very elven sort of floating throne with an arcane rune on the ground. Magic flares through it. You would know this to be where the magic happens. This is the spelljamming helm. This is how the whole ship flies. And the spelljammer sort of standing nearby, just kind of watching, and sees you appear and goes, Ed, good to see that you found your way part of the crew.
Yeah, thanks again. It's definitely been one of my more exciting days. So is this where it is? I've never really seen one of these things. I've read about them, I've heard and stuff, but yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Very fresh to spell jamming, huh?
stuff I kind of got around was a little less loud and a lot less powerful for sure.
Hmm. You're very honest, and if I might make a suggestion, if you're trying to impress, don't be too honest.
Yeah, that's heard that one before. Sometimes the old mouth just sort of opens and goes. But thank you.
Fair enough. Well, she looks over. It says, "Well, Senior, why don't we give the new Spelljammer a chance to fly the ship?" Um, the elf kind of looks over and goes, "Oh yeah, sounds good." Uh, and we'll sort of offer a hand to you. And the Spelljammer is going to sort of talk you through it and be like, "Okay, so this is your first time on one of these. So let me forewarn you. This is Spelljamming hell, and what is going to happen is that Yesinia here is going to transfer attunement to you, which will give you control of the ship to pilot. You're going to feel a sort of pins and needly sensation, not painfully, but you're going to feel that sort of sensation. And then the ship will be under your control, and you will be able to mentally control the ship's movements and where you are seeing from prospectively off the ship, and a number of other things. But just be prepared for the sensation."
Absolutely. So uh, yeah, uh,
Okay. Take the hand of the elf.
uh,
As you touch hands with Yesinia, you do feel attunement transfer to you, as long as, of course, you have an attunement slot open. And she sort of directs you into the chair. And as you sit into the chair, this pins and needles feeling overcomes your whole body. Not painfully, where it's like uncomfortable to move, but that same sort of almost static sensation, sort of right from the tip of your finger to the top of your head and the bottom of your feet, all the way through your body. The sensation takes over, and you feel your perspective expand. Much like Arcane Eye, if you're aware of the spell, you suddenly feel the ability to see off of any point of the ship as if you were standing there, whether that's below deck, on the side of the ship, on the top of the mast, wherever you please. You suddenly are gaining the ability of perspective. In this moment, the ship sort of wobbles, and I think everyone here who has been on the ship for a little while goes, "Oh, new Spelljammer." And you kind of pull the side of the ship as the new as Ed takes over. And she says, "Keep it straight, keep it straight." And you're sort of able to. It's not too difficult. It's a little weird to get into perspective at first, but you can sort of direct the ship forward.
it's got some real kick to it, huh? Like, whoa, there we go. Yeah. And Ed probably looks a lot more in his element right here, and what's that?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what. Why don't you? Are you proficient with space vehicles by chance? Yeah, there we go. Why don't you make me? We'll give you proficiency for it. Your magic comes from intelligence. Let's make a proficient intelligence check.
Okay.
So if you have an intelligence skill that you're proficient in, you can just roll that too instead if you want.
I wanted to ask, because it's like a common occurrence for this Spelljammer to switch. I would just say like Vash is almost just out of habit. Will then, whenever there's a new Spelljammer, just like do a quick double tap on the deck to like notify them of where they're going and the course to keep.
Got it. There is like a double tap. You hear sort of like knocking through the wood, and you would hear Lorati say, "Go to the sounds." Double tap means someone's trying to draw your attention. And as you do, you find your perspective over to Varsh, who kind of just like looks off into space, and he has this orb in his hand that's creating a sort of holographic solar system around it. What do you say, Varsh?
We are headed towards Glyph. Our course is essentially dead ahead, just avoiding the large celestial bodies as normal.
That's like very curt, very like, got it, focus, Here we go, please, no. It's
Fair enough.
5 plus 8, 13.
13. There's a little wobble at first. Nothing that's going to send people off of their feet by any means. No check even required. Everyone's got their sea legs by now, or space legs. I don't know. And you're and you sort of like stabilize it out a little bit. And after Barsha's direction, you kind of find a course and keep to it. And Lorati goes, "Well, very good, very good. You're doing quite well. All right. Once we reach about a mile outside of the rock, jump to cruise speed."
Kind of
means
like
go
getting
fast.
finger. Friggin', it's gonna do. It's gonna go. It's gonna give it a little throttle.
All right, you give it a little throttle, and you feel almost like hitting the pinnacle of the power of the Spelljammer helm, just putting as much energy into it as possible. You see
So cool.
through the window all of the stars and all of their light begin to sort of streak as the ship begins to move 100 million miles every 24 hours at an incredible speed through wild space, and you have hit cruise speed. And the reality goes, "Excellent, you're Spelljammer, Ed. Just, you know the basics? Don't crash my ship. Come on, Yesenia." And she'll just close the door and leave you in there for a bit.
That'll soak in the being alone, surrounded by a easy job to focus. Well, easy for him. A task.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Chaplain.
Yeah, since I recognized along with the rest of the crew that a new Spelljammer must have taken over, can I make my way to the helm?
You certainly can. Shortly after Ed, the door opens and you see Chaplain emerge.
All right. Hi there, Ed. How's it going?
I like look around for like a frog or a bear or any creature for a split second. All right, Chaplain, was it?
Yes, that's correct. I didn't bring anybody with me now, but I realized somebody else must have been on the helm, so I thought I'd give you a little boost.
Ah, sure thing. I'll take any help I can. First day and all.
All right, and I will jimmy rig the helm.
Hell yeah, make me that check. I think it specifies.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, nice. 21.
21, you go over.
Yes.
Yep, you see Chaplain bend down over to like the actual magic item you find yourself seated on, and begins like pressing his finger into like these little lines of arcane energy, like pushing it in. It begins to redirect, and he redirects another one, sort of links up to almost like rewiring it in a way, but sort of crossing channels with various arcane like flows of raw energy and rigging it up a bit. And suddenly there's this, and the whole chair just sort of ignites in sort of lightened magical glyphs, and the whole ship sort of you feel like basically like a nitrous situation as the whole ship sort of lurches forward with a little extra power, and you find yourself kind of tipping. And as you guys are in there, you hear a pretty heavy along the main deck, and you hear Chaplain from a number of crew members.
This is awesome. Like Ed's loving it. He's from.
Yeah, I think it's only for like one round, but yeah, for like 6 seconds you feel this, and then it like clears off.
Yeah, nitro boost is a good way to describe it. That's pretty good.
Nice.
So Chaplain will just kind of tilt his head in an amused way and say, "Well, good luck, Ed. I'll be seeing you around." And he'll walk out the door and like wiggle his fingers in a goodbye. But as soon as he like gets around the corner, another Chaplain comes in, looks at Ed, wiggles its fingers, and walks back out behind him.
All right, so you see him leave, and as he leaves and wiggles his fingers, you're like, "Oh, okay." And then he like comes back, and you're like, "Oh, what's up?" And then he does the exact same thing, like deja vu.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's some sort of flying thing. And Ed tries to, Ed's thinking, like, oh, I'm just seeing stuff. Unless he's like, did he say he walks up behind him? So he's like behind him, or he did it again? Oh, no, he says, okay. So I'll clone followed him. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much, it sounds like it's pretty much exactly like, the deja vu cat in Matrix. almost like that, where you see him like wiggle his fingers and say bye, and you hear like the door open in the ship, and then you like blink, and he's like in the door again, wiggles his fingers and leaves, and you're like, what the fuck?
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I got this whole Spelljammer thing. Yeah.
And to your perhaps delight, Chaplain, though you will never know, Ed immediately accepts that he's probably hallucinating and that it's his fault, not yours.
Yeah.
And as you walk back on the deck of the ship, Chaplain, you have that look from like half the crew that's like, come on, man. Speaking of which, let's get a strength save from Zalace, Bassan, and Varsh as the ship suddenly lurches into a nitro boost.
Oh, yes,
Good
19.
save. Hey, you're good, Zalace.
24, I didn't even flinch.
Yeah, Varsh, the whole ship lurches, and you just like, you do like a full Michael Jackson like moonwalker lean, and then you're good.
17.
Everybody.
17. Yeah, you three are good. You three are fine. Some other crew members aren't as lucky and sort of stumble over, fall into boxes and whatever, and they're like, fucking, they all immediately know who it was. They're like, fucking Chaplain, you get back on the ship.
The rest of the crew's rolling around, and the three who know Chaplain best just kind of smooth criminal their way through it.
Yeah, you guys just lean into it. You're like, yeah, here we go. Incredible. All right, we got 8 days in the sky here. It shouldn't be too hard to get through. Is there anything anyone would like to do on this first day?
Yes, please. So, I would like to get Chaplain, because when we were on before on the ship, I asked him to make me some sort of stand around the ballista. Just wanted to make sure that gets done, so that when I am on there, I'm not jumping or on the tiptoes trying to fire it. So I've got a decent.
Can do. I just got my own set of carpenter's tools that I'm itching to try out, so I will absolutely build you a stand.
Thank you very much,
Cool.
Chaplain. And nice work down there with the new man. It was cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Make me a carpenter's tools check. You're proficient, I assume, with carpenter's tools. Go ahead and make me a. Well, you tell me. What skill do you think what ability, strength, dex, intelligence? What do you think Chaplin's using to build his little ladder here?
I don't know. I'm assuming it would either be probably for something this simple, probably dex.
Dex, okay. Just yeah, sure. Make me a dex check. Just kind of throwing it together.
Oh, that's not great. 5.
Did you add your proficiency bonus?
Yeah, that's with the proficiency bonus.
Oh my god. He's like, da-da! And unwittingly, Chaplain, perhaps your god is just so cool that he pranked even you in this moment. So Lace's like, oh shit, let me try this out. Steps on it, his foot goes through it, he falls over, like, hits his shoulder off the side of the ballista, and like it lands in a heap. And yeah.
Oh, that doesn't seem right. Let me try that again.
Go ahead again. Maybe you're using the wrong skill. Try strength instead. Okay. Put a little hammer blow into your nails rather than
12 that time.
12. This time he makes a proficient wood ladder, or a wood step stool, for you to utilize, that is attached to the ballista so that nobody trips over it. And this time you like look at him, like very cautiously put your foot on it, check the weight, and on the next step check the weight, and it seems to be a functioning step for the ballista.
Well, thanks, Chaplain. Appreciate that. At least now I can see where I'm shooting.
Oh, you're very welcome. I believe the commandant is usually willing during these what do we call this speed?
Cruise speed.
Cruise speed. During cruise speed is generally willing to allow a little target practice if you want to check in.
Chaplain, no. I'm not falling for it. I know your game. It's not happening.
What do they call that? The boy who cried wolf, or something like that? That's incredible.
That's really funny. I was being sincere.
No, that's incredible. That's incredible. Take inspiration, Zalace. That's hilarious. Love that. So Zalace is like, oh no, not falling for this, Chaplain. You're like, but this one was wait. Uh, and we'll move on to someone else. Is there anything anyone else would like to do on day one of travel here?
I think Basan would like some practice with the commandant
Absolutely, absolutely.
because she
Plenty of time.
she got her ass kicked by the Yeti, so she needs more work.
Fair enough, fair enough. You find the commander says, I would of course love to do a little extra sword work, keep everything limber. All right, prepare yourself. And he will go to work with you, Basan. He'll be like, oh, very good. Yes, see, and he'll give you like tips on how to like get 2 strikes in with 1 fluid movement. He's like, the trick is not to put all your momentum into 1 blow. You want to, but if you are going to, make sure there's somewhere you can take that momentum so you can retransfer it into another strike, and you can begin to increase your speed of being able to strike.
She
And
will.
you guys will go through it. He'll tell you not to lunge too difficult. You don't put too much of your weight on your front foot, and keep your balance. And very much, it teaches you a thing or two. And you guys have a couple little mock fights as you do, and yeah, things are going well. He maybe even shows you the very basics of firearms. Is that something you said you wanted to be acquainted with? And he goes, so this is gunpowder. It's highly flammable. If you ignite it anywhere near you, you will probably die. So don't. And this is and he shows you like the base, how it loads. He's like, all right, you take this, you stick it inside, you put it in there, stick this inside, take it out, put some more powder here, stick it inside again, pull this back, put some more powder there, put it forward, and now you're ready to fire. Got all that? Like, no. Here, look at it again. And he'll start showing you the basics of gunpowder and gunfire and all of that stuff.
It must take a very long time to learn how to do that in the same amount of time it takes just to stick someone with a big knife.
Oh, you think so, do you? Watch this. And Glyph, I guess, have this like secret, I don't know, skill set where he basically takes it. He has some like powder on his hip, and he takes the musket, or he takes the pistol, basically starts spinning it on his finger, and starts like using his thumb to like flip his pouch, and he like, and like in one solid motion, like he loads his gun like in about like 1 second flat. He does like that whole process in like 1 second, and he like and flips it around. It's already loaded. It's faster than you can even watch.
That was cool.
Well, not all of us can be born Glyph. And he will, and yeah, and he'll be like, maybe one day you can load as fast as I. And yeah, and you guys continue your training.
That was very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
Is there anything
raising a Githzerai.
Yeah.
Who by a Glyph.
Yeah.
A psionic creature who does guns.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is gonna bode well at like level 10. where I've got like we're gonna have laser guns. We're a gun in my offhand.
Yeah, we're getting lasers. Maybe. Who knows? You got an artificer now. Maybe he's got some plans. Who knows? Okay. Is there anything else from anybody?
Vash will probably spend the bulk of just the whole journey as a whole, either checking checking the orrery to maintain course, or supervising Ethereth.
Got it. And Ethereth spends most of his time, unless you call for him, like up on the masts and just like kind of watching the stars go by, especially moons. If there's a moon sort of floating by, I'll sort of fly over to whatever the closest mast is and kind of like stare at it as it goes by, and then go seeking out the next one. Luckily, there's no rat problem on this ship, which is new. Anyway, if that is all, let's see how well your first day goes. If there's any issues on your first day. your day goes by just fine. So day one, no issue. You're all fed by the local chef. Um, yeah, you have a good little meal. Nothing befalls you that it would be of concern. Let me get this guys. Oh shit. Yeah, you're fine. You continue your travel. Day two comes around. Halt me at any time if there's something you want to get done on your travel. Oh, you'll also notice that there is a dragonborn who's new to the ship that you recognize, Mr. Voidlight, who is just sort of wandering around the ship, not really doing any work. Just kind of like almost like a day worker at a ranch. Just like if they're not in the saddle, he's just not doing anything, sitting around, picking his fingers. You see this guy kind of sitting around, but he's well armed, well armed, and he's just kind of like spends most of his time like polishing his weapons and checking everything and restringing bows and so on and so forth.
Took me a moment. Yes, I do know who that is, so I'm not going to disturb him.
Fair enough. Fair enough. A little intimidating. He's got scars and such across him. Yeah. Okay. So day two rolls around. The ship's comes out of cruise speed at some point today. Not while you're on it at Jord, but there is like basically the ship comes to this small sort of like tavern and inn that's been built onto an asteroid, where like one or two ships are docked. It's just like a floating sort of lost in space tavern a little bit. But the captain elects to move on. There's no reason to really stop. The crew kind of goes, "Oh," and you guys keep going. Day two goes by just fine. We're on day three now. Stop me at any point if there's anything you want to do. Day three goes by without issue. Day four comes around. You're all just making your way through wild space. Day four goes just fine. We're on day five. That day goes fine as well. So we're on day six. We're almost there. Traveling. Uh-oh. Traveling. Let's see how this one's feeling. Okay, this is kind of funny. You guys come out of wild space, or you come out of cruise speed, and everyone's like, okay, what's going on? Everybody goes to their battle stations just in case there's some danger afoot. The captain wants a report. Yesenia comes running out and says, Mr. Captain Lunarbow, there's apparently a giant octopus who's attacking us. He goes, what? Goes, yeah, a giant octopus. He goes, giant octopus? What? Where? He goes, off the front of the ship. And everyone looks, and you just see this like, almost comically, this like just big enough to pull the ship out of cruise speed, but it's just one octopus going on its way over to attack your ship. Captain's like, Basson ready, aim, fire. And it jump to cruise speed, and that's the encounter. Okay, he'll just go back to doing captain ships. Sometimes they're nothing at all. Sometimes they're not smart. And the rest of the day goes by just fine. And he goes, all right, we should be pulling into Glyph as of tomorrow, everybody. Make your preparations. He'll look to Varsh Chaplain, Basson, and Zalace. Say, all right, you're my ground team, as usual, if you don't mind. Ed, do you want to come down and check out Glyph?
Yeah, sure. And yeah, but
I'm
tell
got a
me
chance to
in.
get to know one another and all, so I thought of being opportunity.
Yeah.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm pretty good. It's just, did you guys see that octopus like a day ago or something? I thought I dreamed it or something, but it was really fast. Kind of disappeared real fast too.
Yeah.
Oh,
He looks around at the rest of you. Yeah, no, that was real. That was a real event. We all experienced that. That's right.
Is there anything you want us to be looking out for, Captain?
Well, you know what wouldn't be terrible? I'm hoping to make a decent profit here. If you could all check the markets and shipyards for personal vehicles or other armaments to equip the ship with, that would be very useful while I negotiate with our buyer here.
Do we know how to find the buyer?
The Commandant is part of the away team, of course, yes?
He's going to leave the commandant on the ship in case artillery is needed, as you guys are going into a very sketchy neutral zone between mind flayers and humanoids. So he's like, we're going to keep the big man on the ship just in case things are not what they seem.
Oh no, all
That's
right.
That's
Sorry,
what he says anyway.
you just said Illithid. Never mind. Everything just changed.
He says, "Oh, and yes, Basson, this is a neutral grounds. I understand and agree with your tendencies towards the Illithid, but this is a neutral grounds, and it will not go well for us if any violence is had."
Am I allowed to defend myself if I am attacked in honest?
Of course, of course. But if we can avoid being attacked in earnest, that would be even better.
You can see her jaw just. It's a very Klingon response to restraint here.
Yeah. He goes, "Are you going to be capable of this, or should
I
you?"
am fine. I
Okay.
am fine.
All right. And he'll like probably lean over to Varsh and be like, "Can you keep an eye on our Could you just, watch out for our You understand what I'm asking you?"
You are 100% crystal clear, Captain.
Thank you, Bosch. Thank you. With that, you guys are gonna make it to Glyph. You guys are gonna make it to the planet of Glyph. You guys have been here before. You have not landed on Word, but this is where you did battle with the Skro pirates at the beginning of your journey here. And as you sort of hit the orbit about a mile off the surface, come out of cruise speed, you have entered neutral zone. So you shouldn't have to worry about any hostilities from nearby Illithid. You travel down to the surface of the planet, and let me just see if I've got a cool little neutral zone for you guys. Ready. Okay, let's see. The surface is Yep. This would be perfect. So let me go make a little glyph outpost.
Can I roll my bag of tricks?
You certainly can.
And that, for those of you who were on the ship when the Illithid attacked, and there was a moment where Bisan was like almost blood rage angry, but then she got really super calm and was super, super calm. By the time the ship lands and you're ready to exit, she's super, super calm.
Excellent. The captain is happy to see that. Very happy to see that, yes. Okay, so as you guys land, I just kind of haphazardly built a little outpost. But as you step off the ship, it is hot. It is really fucking hot out here. And as you step out, you see that this is a sort of almost like a desert planet. And as you look off in the distance, you literally see like flaming tornadoes, like way off in the distance, making its way across the sandscape. But you see quite a number of little outposts, almost like moon bases, across the surface of the planet. And to Basan, perhaps your displeasure, you do see walking like as a part of a normal society with the humanoids here, mind flayers. In no small number, mind flayers walking here and there upon this outpost, just walking to and fro. One might even walk by you and sort of witness you and give you, with their beady yellow eyes, give you like a look that you can't help but feel is like a glare, but maybe their eyes just always look like that.
And when he does, Bizan looks back and nods and smiles pleasantly.
And maybe the other 5 individuals are like, and you like smile and nod, and they all, okay.
And then turns his head.
Incredible. Fantastic. So you all step out, you all immediately begin to sweat, except Chaplin. And yeah, you step down from the ship, and Captain goes, all right, I'm gonna go off and find our contact. The rest of you to be so kind to go hunting for new equipment for the ship, as it were. Deeply appreciate it.
Yes, Captain.
Okay. So you 5 have this little base to look through. See if you can't find something to interest you all to upgrade your armaments on the ship. Feel free to take a look around. Again, this is a little makeshifty, but it will suffice for the purposes here. You see a number of ships. Some of them, to your disgust, Bisson, are indeed of sort of illithid design. You see maybe a nautiloid or 2 has landed. Some more regular spaceships. You are indeed sitting in a neutral zone between the mind flayers and other people who wish to make deals with them and make trade with them. What do you do?
When they're like just like stepping off, just got their approach, and in a perfectly timed way. Yeah, you guys buy like a armor and shield. I'll make it better. I probably should have said that a couple days ago. I was still, figuring myself out. But yeah, just let me know.
Are you well versed ship weaponry?
I dabbled before, but not intensely. I meant more like on a personal basis. Like, he'll point to Chaplin and Basan because he saw a shield on their bar. I can make their shield and their armor like just better.
That sounds
Well, not disrespectful. I just honest. I'm good. I confuse them.
Thank you. That better is sometimes better.
Yeah, for sure. You just well, let me know, and then you find me. I'll help you guys out.
all right. Is that easier to do when we're on the ship or off the ship?
Honestly, with the right amount of space and given amount of time, like it doesn't really matter where. Just
All right, I'll keep that in mind then. Thank you.
above the table here. Ed's my first ever caster and better and like more than just pick a target, kill guy. But he's talking about enhanced defense there. So.
Should we find a place and sit and wait for Captain?
No, his orders were to look into weaponry and maybe even vehicles for the ship. So
And market?
say that again.
Market?
Market.
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 I rode my animals for the day, and Chaplin is riding a lion with a rat on his shoulder and a mastiff by their side.
As one does.
I feel like,
That's one does.
I feel like we've had the exact setup before.
Isan pretty regularly reaches out and scratches the mastiff's ears.
You almost haphazardly, like a small child who's trying to self-soothe. You just find your hand is on the dog, and he just like lets you. And maybe he's a little dumb. He's got like an eye up here, and he's just happy to be here. No
He's like the
thoughts,
dog from
just
Coco, but
bees.
bigger.
Yeah, yeah. He's just happy to be here. He doesn't know where he is, but he's happy to be here.
He's a good boy.
Lovely, lovely. So we got Chaplain the Beastmaster, and a ranger walks by and goes, "My beast is pretty cool too."
And
And
then he sees Etherith, but by me.
oh! Incredible. But yeah, you guys wander around. The captain wanders off. You guys want to go looking for potential ship upgrades?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I-
Okay. Yeah.
Above the table, I just wanted to, I don't know, kind of remind everybody what we must look like rolling into a place with an autognome riding a lion with a rat on his shoulder and a dog by his side, accompanied by a Githzerai, an Earth Genasi, a Hadozi with a lunar dragon, and a halfling.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, I'm
That
just
was very harsh.
because the halfling is the most normal, most common. Like that's what we have for run of the mill as halfling, which is a new. I mean, they're a more rare race. Like we are a sight to behold, I would think.
You guys probably look pretty expensive. That's a lot of very exotic creatures over there. Okay, so you guys are all going to, you fucking bastard, work for me. All right, fine.
This is the trade port, right?
Yes.
Then I assume it shouldn't be too difficult to find somebody who's willing to provide armaments or fortification for a ship.
Dude.
Did the captain leave us an amount to be able to spend? Especially if we're looking for a single vehicle.
I think just to browse any potential purchases, and then once we've sold the weapons, we've then, well, sold our cargo. Weapons, what?
It's just armaments we're looking for now.
We can
defenses or
we can order it like this. We find out what weapons they have and how much. We find out what personal vehicles and how much, and then we bring back to the captain. Once captain has traded our goods for tradable things, then we buy things.
In short, we do not have the authorization to make any purchases.
Yes.
Okay. I was just asking how much we can spend.
Nothing.
Son is in phantom.
Someone remind the halfling thief that we can't spend other people's money.
No new armor for me, then I'll take it.
Oh man. You could probably buy stuff for yourself if you have the mind to, but yeah, those large purchases.
But does
Well,
anybody
Connor,
wonder why the
would we have
captain
been
wanted
paid?
these
What was
two
that,
with
Solis?
those two?
Sorry,
What were you
would we
saying,
have been
Slice?
paid before going on to gift?
Yes, that's a good point. You guys haven't been paid in a little while, so let's do that now. So
You did just pay us probably 2 days ago or so.
yeah, I have it marked off, which is a
Okay.
great thing I've started doing.
Just flew for 8
Um,
days.
Yeah, you did just fly for 8 days. So you were paid then? So that'd be one. So you guys are gonna get paid for 9 days. So everybody add 18 gold to their inventory.
Except for me, because 5 silver of my daily goes to
That's right. You'll
Ether's
take half of
upkeep.
that. So you're taking 9 gold.
Three
Oh no,
quarters
only
of
5
that.
silver. That's my bad. That's
Yeah.
my bad. So quarter really. Um,
That doesn't include me, right? Or does it?
no, that counts for you. You take that too. You've been
Oh,
working for the man.
what was that number again? I'm sorry.
18 gold.
18,
So
gotcha.
I got 13 gold, 5 silver.
yeah, 13 gold, 5 silver for you.
Looking for the man.
Okay. Okay, crew. What are you up to?
So, yeah, I'll start walking around the market. I'll take it. We'll split up for a little bit, and I'll just go around and have a look and see what, um, like food stores there are. I want to buy some, or get some apples. I say buy loosely.
Okay. Go ahead. I say buy loosely. Love it. Go ahead and make me an investigation check, I suppose. Or perception. You may choose either or.
Oh, give me choices. 15.
15. All right, you go looking around. Yeah, there's any basic equipment can be bought here. Anything off of like the PHB basically, minus mounts. But yeah, equipment set, food, adventuring gear, some weapons, some armor. It's all being sold here. There's no craftsmen here, just people who have procured such things. And I would say, given your backgrounds, Elise, this is all very familiar. The setup here, very sort of maybe things aren't totally above board on most planets, but it works fine for the people here.
Okay, so
So if
I
you're
want to
looking for sort of
find,
small goods like that, you can find those fairly
yeah,
easily.
so I want to find like an armory that's close to a food stall or something, and just keep an eye out on the food stall and just track that for maybe half an hour just to see who's about and what have you and what it's like.
Got it. And yeah, you do that. You track the sort of food stalls, and it's a regular trade day for them. It seems, as far as scoping stuff out goes. People just working away, working about their day.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'd like to go and buy some apples and what have you, but then I'd also like to double that by maybe trying to take some as well.
Okay. So you go over, you're gonna try and make a purchase, maybe a sleight of hand check to see if you can procure a little extra something for yourself.
Oh, 10.
10.
Yeah.
Meets it, beats it. These are commoners. Um, so why don't we say you drop a a copper or an apple, and you procure for yourself. With that check, we'll say like two extra ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so you managed to slip a couple extra ones in your pocket. You flip over a gold, copper, and you seem to have done well for yourself. Very good.
I'll
Very
just
good.
have a walk around and meet up with the rest of them.
Yep, fair enough. Anybody else going out looking?
I'll be sticking with the psalm per captain's orders, so I kind of look to her to see where she's wanting to go.
Well, we have we have work. We're going to the artillerist, and then we're going to the personal vehicle, and we're bringing back quotes to the captain. We have work.
Yep, and I'll just follow them.
Eerily calm.
Well,
She could pop at
then
any second.
let's find the artillery store.
The artillery store.
And she'll look
Uh,
at Ed and say, "You look like
Oh yeah, I'll make sure you guys don't buy well, not buy, but buy with your eyes. I guess you get it's hard to explain because we are looking at them and getting close. But anyways, I'll make sure we're not buying junk. I got you. All right. I used to. I just and Ed's a little bit he gets sketched out at neutral zones, so he's kind of just wanting to get to the stuff and then get out. Like a lot of like probably more looking again for any distinctive marks,
Can I
insignias amongst all the different people.
Fair enough.
can I make it? I don't know a check to see if I recognize he's uncomfortable.
Sure, make an insight check.
Nah, that's a 7. I'm
No, you're not clocking it.
that's yeah, no, that's nope. Sorry.
And even if you were clocking a little nervousness, I mean, there's mind flares everywhere, so you're probably like, fair. So, but certainly nothing that makes you raise an eyebrow. Cool. So with that, you guys continue to peek around. You'll notice that the Spelljammer steps off the ship as well, and she goes into the markets. And yeah, so you guys go look around. I'm not going to make you do a check for this. It's pretty easy to find the person who's selling artillery, so to speak. And you find what looks like a sort of shipyard, a makeshift shipyard, and it's a thrycreen that is hanging around outside. A couple of them, in fact, a small hive of them. You don't know what they call themselves, but they're hanging around. You approach, you hear the telepathic connection form. It goes, yes, you want to buy special ships, yes?
Define special.
Personal vehicles, not like big spelljammers. No, personal vehicles, fighters, short-range combat battleships. Yes,
Hmm.
yes. You have too many pilots and not enough spelljammers. I fix these for you.
The New Dawn might be interested. Talk us through the specifications.
Yes, come, you look, yes. And he brings you over to see his ships. He sees he seems to have 2 for sale right now. They're the same model. They clearly seem to have a seat, which maybe you could fit 1 or 2 individuals inside, but it's probably meant for 1. He says, these are weavers. Yes, you hear of weavers? Yes, best personal ships in all of the spelljamming, of all the spelljamming community. Yes, these top cutting edge. Yes, you like. And he shows you around. He says, ballista installed on the nose of the ship. Yes, arcane drive. Very good. You go very fast in Weaver. 150 speed, 150 feet per round speed. Yes. You use arcane drive points to go even faster if you want. Yes.
I know. Every time he lists something that the Reavers have, Ed would look to see if he can, like, from a naked eye look to confirm it. You know, it's kind of like, especially
Yeah,
when
you
mentions
hop over.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go if you want to take a look at these. You're proficient in space vehicles. I'll tell you what, make me an Arcana check at advantage to look these over and see if these are good quality ships.
All right. Okay, that is a 16.
16. They all seem to be in good order and functioning. They do have Spelljammer helms installed into the actual ship. They on Spelljammers they kind of can be removed and placed around, but these ones have them like built into the woodwork of the ship. So they come sort of equipped with a Spelljammer helm.
If
You
oh so
they have essentially arcane drives installed into them, which allow the ship to perform a number of functions. He's explaining them to the party, but while he's explaining them, you would know that as well. They have an armor class of 15. They have a damage threshold of 15. They have a round speed of 150 feet. They have 100 hit points. They have a ballista, indeed, a standard ballista installed into the nose of the ship. They also have the ability to double their speed. And in order to use the ballista or the extra speed, you must use an arcane drive point. You would get 3 per hour, essentially. They're good little personal vehicles. They get piloted utilizing a bonus action, so the rider can still utilize a full action. They're good little ships. They're good little personal ships. There might be other ones out there, but they seem to be in good working order.
As he lists all that stuff, like if Varsh and Basan look for Ed for like confirmation, he'll confirm just a curt nod, trying his best to speak their language.
Fair enough. I will say, being the artificer that you are, an artillerist, you know, you've probably looked at the mangonel and the ballistas on the ship, on the Spelljammer, and you look at the ballistas installed here. Maybe some part of you isn't satisfied with this technology. Perhaps there could be advancements made, but the artillery of the spelljamming community is a little lackluster. Maybe it needs some innovation. Maybe you have some ideas, but they work well. They work well and they function well. Okay.
Definitely a good foundation in these things here. Yeah. If you're gonna mark some up, and he says this to Varsh, I'd mark these ones.
Good. Then at least we have something to bring back to the captain. What about I suppose weaponry? Our current galleon is a ballista and a mangonel. Is there anything out you can provide that is an improvement upon these armaments?
Oh, you want siege weapons, yeah?
Sort of grin at that. Yeah, siege
Siege
weapons.
weapons, yes, for your new ship. Yes, I find you siege weapons. Yes, come look. And as I'm just looking up my siege weaponry here to let you know what he's got in stock for improvements.
Isan's full on grinning, and she's forgotten to cover her teeth, so she's very
I don't
excited
think
about
that
siege weapons.
incredible, and I certainly don't think the seller here is too intimidated by that, being an ant person, because he's got his own weirdness going on. But yeah, you grin, and you, Ed, would see the serrated gift teeth in her mouth. Slightly intimidating for some people. Okay, he brings you over. He goes, okay, yes, I have ballistas and mangonels, of course. It is a little bit of like a salvage yard, a little here. Like he's got the functioning stuff, but it is very sort of like Star Wars salvage yardy, where like the ships are in good working order, Ed, but they're not pretty. Like they're maybe a little rust here, a little dried wood there, but still well and functional. They've seen their share of days on the wild space. They have a couple miles on them. The mileage isn't great, but they work fine. Let's see. He goes, "Ooh, I have a number of things for you. Yes, your ship. You have space galleon. Oh, yes, I help you. Oh, too small for trebuchet. Too small for siege tower. I can help you install ram onto your ship. You ram people doesn't hurt your ship at all. Hurts them even more. I can also give you cauldrons for boiling oil. Haha. Yes, you fly over top. You spill oil over the side, you burn your enemies alive.
And
Yes.
Ed's making sounds like that for like a while, just kind of like putting pieces together and kind of creating a recipe. Especially when you said too small for now, like too small. But Ed doesn't believe in too small or too big. It's just you got to find the right space for the dongle to fit into the dongle.
There's a laces off there.
So
Something else is going to happen here really quick. Actually, I think it's going to be you, Basan, just by the randomness of the dice, you being an exotic creature. And I believe you have the sort of the background feature that's like out like far travel, right? Where you just sort of like you look strange and people can want to talk to you, right?
No, that's Evane. Let me check which one I have.
All right.
I feel like this one was a wild spacer is.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. Well, I'll put that out there. Does anybody have any background feature like that where it's like, I know that is one that someone might have for background features. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Basan, you get picked by the luck of the dice. This individual, who is this individual? You see a bucket. It's a GIF. Of course, it's a GIF. They seem to like you. I don't know why, but there's one GIF, but not like the commandant who's all proud and has his like military decor and his pistol, like very proud GIF. This is a little bit more of like he's got a big cloak on, and he's like looks a little more shady, and he goes, "Oh, you there, you Gith, come over here. You're looking to make a large armament purchase for your ship."
Visan will step over.
So I just picked something up off of a deserted planet. It's I'm not terribly sure how it all works, but it's supposed to be some kind of super weapon. Come look for yourself. Come look, come see.
Hold. I need the person who does this.
Oh, fair enough. Bring your expert with you. I think I've got a good deal for you. You're the first person I've talked to. It's gonna go quick.
All right, I'm gonna go get Ed.
Okay, you grab Ed. Ed, you're like, and then the Gith grabs you.
Are you like sneaking off, or are you just like walking up?
It's not too subtle.
Vash is going to follow his orders to a T, and then like when he sees his son's being dragged away, like, I immediately just like, we'll be in touch. I say very quickly to the Frankie as I go after the son.
He goes, it's fine. I shall deal with your auto note. Yes, you seem a responsible sort. Here, come take a look. And he'll continue his propositions for the personal vehicles and armaments to Chaplain.
Right. And Chaplain will
Seems
be
like a honorable and decent sort who doesn't make jokes or anything like that.
no. And Chaplain will
Oh no!
act very.
Did we just leave Chaplain alone with this guy?
You left Chaplain in charge of
Oh.
procuring dealing and making armaments and stuff.
No shit.
But it's too late. You've been absorbed by the new shiny thing.
No. I get it. I get it.
So, Chaplain, you're like, dealing with these Thrycrane people, and they're like, yes, I like your beasts. I trade you for your beasts, yes. And we'll come back to that in a moment. But for the time being, this gift sort of like brings you over, and he shows you this really strange, what basically looks like a giant, somewhat artificiary in nature, but it almost looks like a giant steel tube or container or coffin, something humanoid shaped, like it could hold a single humanoid inside, but it's it's weird. It's a very, very weird alien. I mean, everything's alien around here, but a very weird artificiary construction. He goes, yes, picked this up from a deserted base out on, well, I don't think you really want to know where, but it's gonna go quick, I tell you. It's supposed to be prototype technology from the Unhuman War. Decommissioned. That's what the...
That's gonna approach it. That's like as soon as you saw it, especially if it's artificiary, like he's doing one of those like dad at a car dealership, hands behind the back, like and just peering.
Look it over. Yeah.
Peering towards like you said, there's like a console where a humanoid could fit.
It's not a console so much. How to explain it? You know the thing that Captain America went inside of when he got Captain America'd?
Yeah.
It's a little like that, but rather than it being sort of like sleek and white, it's more like black iron and metal, and it looks a little more like the robots in the machines in the Matrix and sort of aesthetic appearance. But it definitely has that like almost like a humanoid container, if you will.
Could Ed's gonna look it over to see if it's like one contained piece or if it fell off of something or disconnected from something, etc.
Yeah, the gift keeps an eye on you, but he lets you inspect it. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
That is wow. It is an 8.
An 8. It is, fittingly perhaps, it is of a very strange and very advanced design. Clearly, this is the work of artificers. You look at that and you're like, absolutely. But the actual container isn't the important piece here. You don't know what's going on here, but you know it was built by artificers, and the true purpose of whatever this is whatever's going on in its internals. It looks like some kind of container.
And I'm not sure if we're with that low enough of a roll, but it's definitely the most interesting thing Ed's seen here, right? Is that what the vibe I'm getting?
Certainly the most technologically unique. Like it might be similar level. I would say it's a little too low to detect if it's like the cutting edge or if it's technologically advanced beyond like the weavers per se, but it's certainly the most unique. Varsh, go ahead.
I want to cast Detect Magic.
Okay, you cast Detect Magic. You cast that. I think just surprisingly there isn't a lot of magic going on in the actual casing, but you do detect magic in its internals. It's because of the amount of metal between you and whatever's going on inside. It's a little difficult to detect the school of magic and the shape of that magic. But there's clearly something magically alive within the side. I say alive as in like the magic is there. It's potent.
Yeah.
It's around.
Does
I do not know what this is or what this does. The captain said we were looked to one of two things. This is not that. We will let him know. It is not our money to spend.
Fair enough. Tell your captain though that when I picked it up, it was in the facility seemed to be a weapons development facility of some kind. There were notes and pages scattered around. This is supposed to be some kind of decommissioned prototype meant for the war.
Have you opened it?
I don't honestly know how to open it. You look all... Your one fellow there looks rather smart, and I'm going to give you a really good price because I don't know what's inside and I don't know how to open it, so I'm going to give you a really fucking good price on it. So we're going to deal with it.
Whatever it's worth, this is definitely what stood out the most to me here. I know we can't speak for the captain, and I can't speak here, but if I'm taking something home with me,
I pulled the son Ed aside.
Okay. Your side.
I looked at this arm first. I agree, this is not within the directive of the captain. However, there is something inside of that thing.
There's something around it too.
Something magical.
If I may, knowing this does not change what we do because we were never spending money. So we tell the captain about this and make a report. And if the captain wants to spend money on this, it is their decision.
I agree.
I will say at that moment, Basan, you kind of like look over your shoulder and he's already trying to deal with someone else. And you see two mind flayers sort of approach with deep interest in whatever this guy is selling. Sort of like looking it over, maybe their tentacles sort of like touching the outside of it, and they look at each other, and whatever it is seems to deeply interest these mind flayers.
Oh my god. I don't think Ed even heard Basan and Varsh talk, like his eyes were just locked on it. Like he's just...
Well, let me inquire as to a price. If it is within my own personal funds, then I can't look to Basan then. I think
if I can help, I will.
I think we can both agree, better out of the hands of those things.
I know how to trigger people.
I go over to the game.
So you return back. Yeah, Zalace will say that you're showing up at about this time, and the captain will be as well.
Yeah, I'll go and find Chaplain. I'll go and stand with him as soon as the other three are over there having a little conclave.
Got it. We'll say that you're approaching at this point, and the captain has sort of joined up with you and asking how your day goes. But Chaplain, I'm genuinely curious how the dealing and wheeling is going on over here. So you're astride your lion with your mastiff at your side and a rat on your shoulder, and the Thraken are like, yeah, so we have cauldron and extra ballista. We sell these to you. weavers. Yes, good weavers.
Weaver, is that a weaver?
Yes, as a weaver, you want to sit inside and feel what it's like to be great space pilot.
I do want to sit inside and see what it's like to be a great space pilot.
And they
Oh, no.
they let you do it. You hop inside, and you sit in there, and it's very much like hopping into a little fight, like a bush plane fighter plane. And you're in there. You got the controls in front of you, like very easy to use. And you feel it attempting attunement with you, and like it feels good. It feels good. You feel like a proper fighter pilot.
How do you turn it on?
He goes, ah, ha, ha. You must attune to Spelljammer, yeah?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know how to attune.
No, don't attune, don't attune. Do you try to attune?
Yes.
See if you can make maybe just a flat charisma check to see if you can kind of like, I don't know, like keep them occupied enough for you to establish attunement. It's only a minute.
Yes, 17.
Nice.
Incredible. So attunement with a Spelljammer is rather quick, I believe. Transfer attunement, Spelljammer helm. While alternating Spelljammer helm, you're sitting on it, you gain the following. You maintain concentration on a spell. Oh no, you gotta do the full deal. Yeah, so you're unfortunately not gonna be able to gain attunement. It's gonna take a little too long, but you do distract them enough. They're like, wait, after like maybe 3 minutes, they finally convince you to get up out of the seat. And you're like, okay, I'm probably not. Yeah, it takes like an hour to attune to these things, so you're like, okay, I can't pick them over for that long probably. And you hop out, and they're like, and they're all a little stressed out. And at this point, I'll say the whole party comes together with Captain Lunarbow. Says, all right, I got a very good deal. In fact, made quite a bit of extra change. So what are we looking at? What are our prospects here?
Bisan looks at the captain and says, I don't know what's in the box, but they want it. So we're buying the box. But I'll spend my
What's in the box? I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I apologize.
Just about
What's in the fucking box? No, I'm kidding. He doesn't.
No,
No, but that's happening inside.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's doing inside. They're like, we're rerunning this really horrible movie for some reason.
I'd take what's around the box too, if I were taking something here.
Okay, so what's special about the box?
Well, we don't know. It's a strange container of some kind. I can sense magic inside, but the box is too thick to get a proper sense of what it contains.
Definitely a work of artificers too, which that's by nature worth its weight. All currency, really.
He says that he found it from a weapons facility that had been decommissioned from the last Unhuman War, and that this was somehow connected to a weapon. I don't know if that's true, but that is what they say. The Illithid are interested, which suggests we should keep it away from them. I don't know that we can spend ship money on it, but I will spend my money on it.
Oh, well. If you all have that much confidence in it, it's at least worth checking. And he'll wander over there with all of you guys, and the Mind Flayer sort of like looking at each other, and he's kind of like standing there impatiently as they sort of speak within their minds of each other. The elf approaches and looks at it, and the Glyph kind of turns to him and goes, "Oh, you must be the captain of these fellows over here. You're the bank, as it were." He goes, "You said that they told me that you found this in a weapons facility." He goes, "Yes, decommissioned weapons facility, prototype technology, according to the documentation there, something that's supposed to claimed it would shift the war." And he goes, "Was this a Scrow facility or was this a Elven facility?" He goes, "It was an Elven facility, of course." He goes, He looks it over, and he goes, "And I suppose these are my competitors over here." He goes, "Yes, they seem rather interested in what I have to sell, and I want to get rid of it quick. So Be happy to sell this to you for 3,000. He goes, I'll take this from you for 2,000. I don't even know what's inside of it. Looks advanced, but what's even in here? And he goes, the mind flay, I want it for 2,000. Can you sweeten the pot a little bit? He goes, fine. 2,200. He goes, he looks over at the mind flares. He goes, can you beat it? The mind flares sort of, screws me. He goes, well, they want 25 for it. Winterbow looks at the mind flares and at him. He goes, huh. I'll take it for 3,000. I won't negotiate any further. He goes, fine, deal. You'll accept a rather large pouch of platinum from Lunarbow, and the mind flares will sort of approach Lunarbow and start. They just kind of all stare at each other, and you know Basan more than anyone. There's a telepathic conversation going on between him, and the captain just kind of puts his arms behind his back and looks at them, and every now and then there's a little flare of their tentacles of like disappointment or frustration. And then he says very, very much out loud, he says, it's time for you two gentlemen to go. And they kind of use more, and they wander off dissatisfied.
If they're speaking out loud, Bisan understands deep speech.
All right, they're basically saying like blasted mortals, something along those lines. Basically, like probably some elven slur about how he'd be like fine snack and asshole. Basically, you know, it's just that kind of thing. And then they wander off. And the captain says, all right, 5 gold to whoever can open it. Go ahead.
I'll go. Let me have
Slice
a look.
jumps on it. Make me an investigation check, Zalace, to see if you can find some kind of opening hatch.
11.
11. You're looking around. Does anybody else want to take a shot at it?
Yeah.
Ed, go ahead.
I mean,
make me a
Then
investigation.
I can. Is there a way I can? Yeah, I want to do an investigation to try and see if I can conjure up a tool for opening this.
Conjure up a tool?
For a replicated tool. What's it called? Kind of want to tinker with it a little bit, but
Oh, you want to use your tinker's tools?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll tell you what. Give me advantage. As you have tinker tools, which will be absolutely helpful in this situation.
Oh my god.
Having the right
If that
tools for the
doesn't work,
job.
I want to try my thieves' tools. See
Okay,
if I
so that's
can jimmy it.
That's fair
19.
enough. Okay, 19 for you. I'll say Zalace make me another check. We'll call this advantage. So 19 for Ed.
Oh, that was bad. So that's investigate 18.
18 for Zalace. Is anybody else taking a swing at it, or is this a Ed versus Zalace situation here?
I'm good.
Okay. You guys pretty much find this, like, you're using your thieves' tools, which is absolutely meant for opening doors, and Ed, you're using your things to take it apart, and you start prying off panels, and you both sort of at the same time kind of find a release, and you both like reach for it, and Ed's hand is on it just like a split second faster than yours. Zalace and
Because
pulls it
he's
down.
longer than me. He's just got a longer reach. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's the only reason. It's not fair. And as you pull the latch down, there's almost like a sort of a light sort of flickers on within the actual tube of the interior. A bit of sort of almost black smoke or steam or some kind of gas sort of roils out from the interior. And quite intimidatingly, you see if the Predator from Predator was a robot, like mixed with Terminator, is essentially what you would see revealing itself from within the interior. Epoxy, would you like to describe what your character looks like?
Yeah.
That's
As
awesome.
Epoxy starts to stand up off of the casket, as you called it, Epoxy looks like they have big poofy hair going upward, like it's been blasted by the wind, and a giant rat tail that like goes around their body maybe once or twice, and they basically look like a protogen, if you know what that is. Like a techie, hinded leg animal.
All right, you guys see this has sort of like yeah, as it's revealed, and I guess I use predator because it's very much has the stylizations, a lot of pieces to look
Oh, I forgot
bestial.
to mention.
Yeah.
They have like a kind. I'm so sorry, I'm blanking out. Like that dog mouth section. I forgot what it's called. Kind of
I
like
got you.
furry, big, three-fingered claws, along with three hind-legged claws, and kind of like Aztec-y RGBs glowing purple around the body.
Right. So your perspective, Apoxy, is, well, we'll get to your perspective in a second because you're coming online. But the rest of you, yeah, see this image of like clawed, sort of animalistic legged, very much like Transformers, like the animal ones, but very predatory. And you see like as it comes online, these lights begin to glow across this robotic form, and like maybe there's some of those claws sort of like like retract into the actual hand. Maybe there's almost a scorpion-like tail that sort of binds with the back of the creature. Sort of like basically it's on like standby, like work mode, and it starts to like file in all of its platings and become almost more humanoid looking as it sort of retracts into itself, and its eyes glow into that color. Epoxy, what you do is you gain consciousness for the first time, and you see your heads-up display displays your serial number, and basically a long line of code just across your sensors, and then it starts to give you a status report where it's saying basically like weapon systems deactivated, rage modulators online, heads-up display coming online, sensory equipment, 5 senses, touch, smell, and then they're like activating. So your eyes turn on, your audio sensors turn on, your sense of touch turns on, personality modifiers off, and you become aware and conscious for the first time as you stand here and see this array of strange individuals before you, and you have but what few memories we've spoken of.
Can I see who looks like the most commanding of all of them here?
I would say that very clearly, maybe like the halfling and the Earth Genasi are there, but the rest of them seem to be standing around. One who's a little bit more declarated looking, you see the elven captain seems to be standing amongst his crew very clearly. He has a presence about him.
Looking down straight up, their eyes meet with. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
With Zealots and says, "What is your identification?"
Are you with us, Zalise?
Zealots.
Are you talking to Zalise the halfling?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you look around, you assess, you look down at the halfling. Zalise, you hear this? Can't hear you if you're talking.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Sound problems. All right, I'll tell you what. Well, it's about that time anyway. Why don't we give Zalise a minute to figure out his tech, and we'll come back to Epoxy's introduction in a moment, but let's take a 5-10 minute break, and when we come back, we will meet our new prototype. Cool. We'll see what's going on there.
Great day for introductions, man. There's like Chaplin's introduction was epic, which was obviously part of Ed's introduction. Varsh's introduction was again just like big events happening, and then once again, Bisan just like it's just noise in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, let's roll down sick. All right, we'll be right back. 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, you need to change the dialogue. So it's like you're on mic for a little bit, and then it will continue. So it's on the screensaver. So the screen. So when you're watching that on a what you transfer on the Zoom, it comes to early was on, but you're just about a moment. You can check it away, right?
Ryan, there was like a central market area, right?
That's right.
That was a little bit more concentrated.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Just wait for Varsh and we'll get to it.
I'm
Oh,
here.
there. Haha. Cool. Let's hop to it. I've got such an image in my head of what epoxy looks like. Just fucking Predator, Terminator, saber tooth claws and everything. But sweet. The like, almost like, I don't know, metal fins on the shoulders or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Vosh just had this
It's-
sword out.
Your interpretation of it is so sick. Mine is kind of underwhelming.
I'll see if I can't find an image I like that properly describes what I've got in my head. But yeah. So anyway, the
Sorry,
thing.
it's not what is your identification is. How do you identify?
So Zalace, the robot looks down at you and. How do you identify?
I'm just I look up at the robot as I would see it as. A bit scared because of the size, obviously. I'm Zalace. You want to be talking to that guy there? Pointing over to the captain.
Yep. The captain just is kind of like gives you a nod. It's like basically like you're good to interact. And he's just kind of watching to see what it does.
Who are you then?
Who am I?
Yes.
I am an AI companion, Epoxy.
Epoxy? Nice to meet you.
It is nice
Where,
to meet you as well.
where are you from? That's a cool bed that you've got.
And I do a history check to remember where I'm from.
Sure. Make me a history check. See if your circuits can comprehend where you are from.
Cool. 14 total. Oh,
14?
that's sick.
You do not recall. Your memory stores. Maybe there's something comes up on your HUD and says like error. Like
It has
memory.
been eradicated.
Wow. Okay. That doesn't sound good. Maybe,
Sorry, eradicated in my memory. I do not remember.
all right. That makes a bit more sense. Well, maybe we can help. Let's have a look at the machine and see whether we can see any marks. Where it's from.
At some point during all of this, Bisan leans into Varsh and says, "At least it's not a chef."
A chef?
Vosh like almost loses his grip on the sword. It's sort of like I suppose so. Is it friendly? It doesn't look friendly.
I think Captain Luderbo will speak out and say to you, Epoxy, and we'll say, tell us about yourself. What is your designation? What is your purpose?
My purpose is to. It starts fizzing a little bit, trying to think about it.
Make me a intelligence check to see if you can pull up any information from your internals to describe your capabilities or what you're meant to do.
In the meantime, I'd like to run up to it and be
Sure,
like,
in a second.
"Oh yeah,
Sorry, for what again?
Intelligence.
A 9?
A 9. You're trying to like figure out like the purpose of your form, and essentially like you're like looking, there's an error there in the databanks, but you look over like your various like sort of diagnostics on the side, and you look at your unit's capabilities, and you get the sense that you are built for combat. As your primary capability is combat.
I believe I'm a warrior.
Well, you look it. Do you know who you're... Oh, at this point, you see the little auto-gnome walk right up to you. You look down and you see this this other automaton.
Hello, brother.
right." And he like reaches toward the leg or something like that. I imagine he's like, "Ooh, cool! Do we get a robot?"
Yes, I am now part of your group.
Visan
Yeah,
leans,
you read... Go ahead.
Visan leans into Varsh again and says, "So it's friend-shaped."
It's fucking shit.
Very well, and I sheathe my sword.
Yeah, Captain Luderbell will look at you, Epoxy, and say, so you're built for battle. Do you have an enemy you wish to fight? What do you plan to do with yourself?
Well, I have no goal in mind at the moment. I have been instructed, as far as I know, to follow, and Epoxy looks down at... Sorry, how do you pronounce the name? Zalus?
Zalace.
Zalais?
Like lace,
Lace.
but like the lace.
Oh, Zalais.
There you go.
And just Epoxy looks down and says, to protect my master.
Yes.
Yeah. I've seen this before. It's a visual assassination of a person. Yeah. And I look towards the captain, kind of like I shuffle my way through, kind of like get there and try and close a little space.
Yeah.
Well, normally in these situations, it's more better to ask. There's a creator present.
Right. Do you know who your creator is?
It is Dr. Wininski.
Dr. Wininski. Who is a doc? Tell me of this Dr. Wininski.
They were a part of a project of some faction along with other doctors to modify ones like me.
All right. Responsible for the creation of Warforged, it sounds like. I've seen them around before, but not like this. If Zalace... Why do you all get to pick up cruel creatures and... Anyway, I mean, you're welcome aboard our ship if you want to have a crew to fight with.
Aye, Captain. They start going to one of the smaller ships.
Or you just start marching towards the other. Goes, no, wait, no, we haven't bought those yet. Oh shit. And yeah, they'll be like, back up, you Warforged. But yeah, you guys will turn your attention back over here to the siege stuff.
Before we leave, I'll just like acknowledge the Glyph who we did business with.
Oh, he left, man. He
All
took
right,
the money
cool.
and he almost literally ran.
Oh, sweet.
Very quick stepped.
And
He
never
didn't know
mind.
what you were gonna find in there. For all he knew, something was gonna come out and try and kill you. And
Oh, sweet. Then there was no need to show respect. Thank you.
yeah,
And,
no, he took the money and he fucking left. He was done. It was like, great.
And actually, when everyone goes over there, can I take a little peek where Epoxy popped out of? Just like,
Yeah, you want to inspect the interior?
yeah, just see if there's any like tubes or
Like, is this a
maybe
stasis chamber that you need to bring with us so that they can,
Yeah. Make me at this point, as the sort of arcane internals are active and you have your Tinker's tools, make me an Arcana check and we'll call it advantage.
Alright. Not that the word means much for my rolling today. Okay, that's for me to choose between a 7 or a 6. So it's 7 plus 5, 12. Is that 12? I'm bad at math.
7 plus 5 is 12, yeah.
Yeah, 12.
Cool. You look around the interior, you don't pick up much. You do see sort of like to be clear, this is Artificer Tinkerer stuff, but this is so beyond your capability. This is so beyond your grade of skill. But you don't see anything in there that would imply that Epoxy requires this to continue functionality. It doesn't seem to be like a stasis chamber or even like a battery chamber or anything. It doesn't seem to be like a source of power or stasis of any kind. It looks, you do see like in the wall there are sort of like automated tinkering pieces, so perhaps this is where Epoxy was actually made. Or at least in part, or repaired, or some fine-tuning was done. But you get the sense this was made for containment and maybe repair and maybe modification, but it is, without a power source, it probably cannot continue its functionality. You can take it with you, and maybe it could be used to improve Epoxy down the line, but you would need to find a very specific chamber to plug it into. It's like you have a European charger, but you're in America. You know what I mean? So you're like, it could be useful, but you need a very specific facility to plug it into to give it power to work. So you could take it, but it's also very difficult to find what you would require to make it work. And you don't even know if that place still exists anymore. So
I'll keep that to myself, but I'll join the other groups and I
Fair enough.
will relay this after we're done with this.
Got it. So the Thrycreen go, yes, you buy, yes, God. And he looks at it and he goes, well, I have a Spelljammer and I do have a new pilot, as I'm told. So he starts dealing with him. He goes, how much is the Weaver? And he goes, they start speaking amongst themselves about costs and prices. I'm gonna see how well he did. He goes, he looks at like the cauldrons. He looks at the
ram. He looks at the ram.
The ram. He looks at the ram. He looks at the cauldron. He looks at the weavers. He goes, all right, I'll take one of those weavers. And he goes, yes, good. And he hands over like what's left of the chest that he had full of funds. And he like pockets a bag of platinum. You expect to pay back the original individual. And they'll begin to sort of load the Weaver onto the New Dawn, and your ship has procured a personal vehicle as part of their arsenal, which is pretty cool.
We'll get the ram next time. It's fine.
Yes, unfortunately we didn't have enough for the ram, but next on the list, perhaps. Yeah, go ahead.
We should probably. I don't think we should leave that behind and head points to where epoxy popped out of.
Those-
yeah.
What makes you say that? I believe you.
Oh.
I just
And he looks towards the epoxy. I'm not sure how dependent or not they might be on it. And well, if they seem friendly and they're coming with us, I wouldn't want them to find themselves without their required stuff. I wish I could tell you more of it, but it's just seems worlds ahead of what I know, and it's just
fair
can't.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'll ask Epoxy in that, listening to that, and say, that tube that you came out of, do you need that for later on to charge or rest or mend?
Yeah, your sensors will basically come up and tell you like your unit is fully independent and operational without the requiring of the pod. It has some serial number beside it, but it's a pod. So yes, Epoxy looks at you and goes, no.
Okay, so
Well.
Captain, she doesn't need it, unless we can use it for parts.
I think I'll take the. And I gotta say that it's fairly heavy, and the gallium. I mean, it could take it, but if Epoxy doesn't think that it needs it, then I think we'll say keep it here. But Ed, feel free to peel apart any parts you want out of it.
Got it. And Ed'll go to it and just like, because one of Ed's worries is maybe they don't need it, but if someone else grabs it, so it's like there's like a center console or something. He kind of wants to turn it off.
Yeah.
Or whatever I call it.
Gotcha. Make me. Yeah, your Tinker's tools. Pull it. Let's call it an investigation check again to sort of go through the systems and deactivate anything and extract anything potentially useful or valuable.
Come on, more than a 5.
Before that, can I bring Epoxy over to the pod and see whether she knows of anything useful to aid him and help him with that?
Right away, sir. I'll help him.
All right, you wander over. So I'll say because the role is already in play, you guys wander over there and you're like, yeah, he might need some help. But then to your surprise, you see Ed is, what do you roll, Ed?
19 plus 5, 24.
Whoa.
So you guys are like, I will assist. And then you see like, you turn around, Ed's already like extracted like several very expensive parts. The light goes down. It's like the moment he gets his hands on it, immediately he starts breaking everything down. You're like, okay, he doesn't, I don't think he needs any.
Master Solace, I don't believe he needs any more assistance.
Now, Epoxy, it looks like he's okay.
And as walking towards you guys, he's like, he probably put it all on like a little ball thing. He's like, well, if you don't need it, I'll see if I can make some cool shit for you for it. Not bad, by the way. I make stuff. Good to not be the new person anymore. Well, welcome. I think you're welcome. I should have talked. And Ed Oak walked back to the curb.
So Ed,
Yes.
with that magnificent roll, what was it, 24 you said?
24.
Whoa.
You disable any possibility of future capability. You just take out like what is like, I don't want to say an arcane drive, but some kind of like main system cortex that like helps it coordinate all of the things. So you pull that out. You basically extract like basically it would be like a piece of the equipment that's meant to sort of like divine functionality. So they could power it. So basically took out the hard drive. So now it just doesn't have knowledge of how to operate itself anymore. So you rip that out. You rip out a couple of the tool pieces installed in the actual corners that were meant for sort of build and repair. And you're going to have extracted about 100 gold pieces worth of, in like 5 minutes, you extract about 100 gold pieces worth of like valuable salvage. And if you wanted to, you could turn 50 gold pieces of that salvage into like a new Tinker set, if you wanted to.
I do, but Ed is nice to a fault. So he's just gonna be like, he's gonna offer it to the captain. Like, hey, here's the stuff. Pretty valuable. Pretty sure you can get like at least 100 for it.
Oh, he goes, no, Ed, fuck, that's really, I mean, that's really impressive. It's your salvage, by all means.
No shit, like
You took it
For
apart.
real?
It was your skill, and I told you.
uh,
Why don't you handle this one? You're new to the crew, and
yeah, sure. Yeah, and Ed's like, oh shit, I get to keep stuff. So that was, now one thing just so I can get inventory sec. I made a custom item here called Apoxy's Pod Hard Drive thingy. Should I keep
Yeah.
that or would it not matter? Or
if you intend to sell it, I would say that's like the other 50 gold pieces worth. So you
That I'll
extract
keep.
that for a piece, and we'll say that's worth about 50 gold just to whatever scrapper. And then the actual like tools and stuff off the interior is another 50 gold. So those are the two pieces of salvage you possess. You can keep
I'm gonna
the
keep the hard drive.
Yeah, and maybe look over it later if you wish. There might be information on that.
Maybe use it to make some cool stuff later in the future.
Maybe.
But I'll salvage the other stuff.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Alright.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to do here on the outpost? He says, if you have anything to do, get it done now. I'm going to ensure that the Weaver is loaded up correctly, and
Yeah.
prepare
Yeah, I'll
to
just
make the final
ask the
match.
captain how he got on with Dragon Blood.
Very good. He was a skeevy sort, but a little cowardly. I used the blackmail as was recommended, and got clearly a pretty good price, enough to get a Weaver and a Warbot. So worked out pretty well.
So back to the rock.
No, we have a cosmic horror to kill now, don't we?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, here comes the
Oh,
fun part
right.
of the journey. All right, like I said, finish up whatever you wish to do here on this outpost. Try not to make any trouble, and we'll head off at the earliest convenience.
So, I don't have anything to do, so I'll tell Epoxy to follow me and we'll get on the ship.
Bisan's gonna stay with the captain and half bodyguard, half oversee getting things from place to place.
Fair enough.
I'm going to head back to the center market.
Okay, no problem. You head there. You see various stalls are opened up by humanoids, and you have some stalls opened up by actual mind flayers with very unique and strange bioorganic equipment.
Oh, good. All right. I'm going to stand in the center of the most populated 60 feet I can find.
Okay.
And cast Detect Favor. I'm looking for someone who can find
that's not an official spell, my friend. I'm afraid to say.
Oh, is it not? Oh, okay.
No, sorry. Yeah, there's the content shares everything, unfortunately. So can't really specify.
Great skill. I was so happy. All right.
Yeah, that's a custom spell for another game, I'm afraid.
All right. Instead of that, I guess I will just look around to see if I can find a staff of healing. Do they have anything like that here?
Okay, mischievous. You're looking for. So here's the deal, and this is what I've kind of realized about the magic item market. In some campaign worlds, like they say, yeah, there's magic stores, but think about it. In all the campaigns that I think everybody here is potentially being in, and all the magic items you've acquired, have you ever sold or given away one that you've acquired?
No.
It's probably the same for everybody else.
Right.
They are priceless items that people do not like to get rid of. So I'm gonna say here, as you're here and you're looking for magic items, just like on open market stalls, if they were on display, they'd probably get sold the moment they get put on the table.
Great.
So as you go looking around for magic items, you get the sense you'd probably have to do a little palm greasing, looking through private collections and such. Nothing's going to be just on display, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
I'll figure out where this thing is. Yeah, it's probably just. I'll put it here for now.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't imagine it looks exactly like that, but I don't know. Fuck it, it's cool. So we'll have a little spaceship on the side. But yes, you would see that like there is the ship actually does lock onto the side of the hull of the galleon. It doesn't have like it does have landing gear, but it also has like specialized gear that sort of locks it onto the side of like a Spelljammer hull, and that's how it lands. Is that it holds to the side of it like one of the like the smaller fish underneath a whale's fin, kind of like that. So it locks onto the side of the actual helm.
Is there a pilot?
Whoever's gonna fly it, which we will get to soon. But everybody begins loading up. Is there anything else anyone would like to do on the outpost, or does everyone head back to the ship?
I'm ready to head back.
Right, yeah.
Got it. So you all head back, and I think a little special meeting is called between the Spelljammers, or those capable of the piloting skill, and the captain. So, Yusinia, Spelljammer, Lorati, Ed, and the captain sort of have a little informal meetup. And the captain will sort of look at all of you and say, so, we have a personal vehicle now, properly installed into the side of the ship. I would ask, which of you wants to be the pilot of our personal vehicle here? We will, of course, need a Spelljammer to pilot our bastion ship, or not a bastion, our collective ship, the Galleon. But we'll need a separate pilot to control the Weaver, the personal vehicle, when combat strikes out. So who would like to become our personal vehicle pilot in the ship?
I'll take it. You know, now you say combat, how frequent? Not to say I've not had my share of combat. Well,
How often is combat? This is the question.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm sure you may have noticed at this point, the Spelljammer, when in cruise speed, will only drop out of cruise speed if it becomes near in contact with something weighing a ton or more, is how the mechanics work. So, if we run into a rather large asteroid that is unexpected, that the oars did not anticipate, or a creature with a ton or more in weight, we will stop. If it's hostile, we will have to fight. If it's not hostile, but we want to fight it, we will fight it. And then if we go looking for a fight, we will fight it. So it's really up to our seeking of combat, and if Wild Space decides to drop something big and dangerous on top of us.
Well, if you trust me for it, I know I just got here, but you did let me spell down this, so.
So Yesenia says, I think I still have a lot to learn. I'd rather be on standby for the collective if that's possible. I just don't feel comfortable being in a combat situation if I can avoid it. And the captain says, very well. Lorati looks at you, Ed, and says, well, I can fly anything. I've been spell jamming for years, but if you're new as a pilot, you best be in the place that you feel most comfortable. So would you like to be piloting the collective ship, or would you like to be piloting the personal ship?
Because this is more of like a player thing in my head, but because if say down the line, is it exclusive where Ed's piloting if he wants to like work on the ship, like those stuff? Okay, cool.
This is like, let's say, for example, this crew here of 6 people finds themselves on their own ship, and we don't. But let's say that there's like 2 pilots. You could decide between yourself like who wants to be on what at any given time. You're
Alright.
no way locked into one option forever by any means.
Perfect. I'll go where I'm needed. You've all welcomed me here pretty openly and with a lot of trust, and I'll carry that. I'll carry that as well as I can. So I'm not afraid of it.
He looks at Spelljammer Suthra and says, "Well, we risk losing our new personal vehicle. I think I'm going to say, Loradi, I would prefer you to remain on the collective ship. You are my most veteran Spelljammer, and I'd rather not risk you and our new collective ship or our new personal ship all in one go. So, Ed, you will be responsible for the Weaver. That is your ship to manage for until you decide to swap out."
This is the first time I'll ever say this, but hi, Captain.
Very well, very well. All right, when we get into battle, Ed, that is your battle station. The Weaver is yours to command, and I would recommend you take a moment to hop aboard and give it a little flyabout and come to understand how it works.
Got it. I'll go do that right as I told.
All right, you descend the rope ladder, you board the ship. As the ship is sort of like managing itself, getting ready to jump to cruise speed or whatever, you make your way down. You very easily enter into the actual the helm of the ship and land in there. There's no controls, there's no steering wheel or anything like that. It does have like a roof, but this one, it doesn't. As a pilot, you would know that this ship is considered, it's not like a gargantuan like the big ship is, which means that you'll have a minute of air while you are aboard this ship. So how that works, and there's a whole thing about air envelopes and such, is that when you fly away from the big Spelljammer, you will have your own air supply, air envelope, as it carries its own with you. You will have 1 minute, 10 rounds worth of air with you. You can refresh that, though, by coming back into the air envelope of the main ship, which is basically the diameter. It's huge. It's like this big. It's basically the length of the actual ship twice over. So if you go fly, and I'll tell you when you've exited the air envelope, and I'll tell you where the air envelope is. But when you take off and you go and fly into combat, you'll have 10 rounds of air with you. And then when you decide whenever you want to go refresh, you just need to return back to the ship and you'll refresh your air supply. That's why they're short range spiders, because you can't go too far without running out of air. So I would like you to go to your extras tab and add, we'll call it a mount. Add a mount and look for the Weaver. It's called Weaver. And that will have the stats of it, and you may utilize it similar to a mount, but you must control it every turn, as it is not a conscious creature. I have looked far and wide for a vehicle making stat block thing on the internet. It does not exist. So this is a vehicle, but I think this is pretty accurate to what it's capable of.
All right, cool.
Find it.
Yeah. Weaver, Spelljammer in brackets.
That's right. That's
awesome,
the one.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I guess when that gets you just like at a naked eye glance, does this look like a beat up Supra he can like hook it up in the 2000s or something? Because he'll definitely want to do that in the future.
It's it looks a little like I said, like the sort of Star Wars scrapyard ship, where it looks like it's a little beat up. It's not missing any of its armored hull by any means, but the plates look, maybe one's got like one of its corners is starting to like dent back a bit, and it looks like you look at this and like maybe it's like sort of making your artificer brain go happy, because it's like, all right, this thing needs some upgrades could be done. And I will say, and again, you two are very near to the game, but one thing I've added as part of the system is that all the Spelljammers are highly customizable. So if you want to go to a shipyard and look into upgrades for your ship, modifications, update the weaponry, totally possible. Totally possible.
In the future, we're gonna have like a Star Fox moment.
Absolutely, yes. But yeah, you see the stats there. So as you sort of unlatch it from the side of the ship, it only takes a bonus action to pilot. So it is going to consume your bonus action every round to pilot it. If you decide not to move, you'll just sit in space. If you need to use your bonus action for another reason, someone else can hop on there. Like, they can't pilot with you or do anything else on the ship, but you can sort of like, if you want to, like, as a hypothetical, take the Warforged here, and the Warforged is like, I want to board their ship and kill everyone. You can, like, have Apoxy sit on the back of your ship while you fly over, and then they just fucking airdrop onto the ship. Totally possible. Totally possible.
I'm sure I'll ask more questions when time comes, but I'm sure like I'll save those questions for one more action.
Sure. No problem. Yeah, and I will say, if anybody, I have a document for my updated rules for Spelljammer combat. As I've said many times, it's not required that you like have a thorough understanding of them because it's a whole extra rule set to remember. I know them, so I will tell you as we go. But if you want to have access to that and look at that, let me know. I'll actually throw a link in the Facebook chat so you guys can link up in the doc and you can just look it over if you ever need to. So I will put that down when the session's over. But for the time being, yeah, you guys see Ed. He hops into this thing. You fly around maybe a little bit, and it's fast. You thought the collective ship that you were on, the Galleon, was fast. This thing moves. It's got 150-foot basic flight speed. You just like, you fucking go in this thing as you sail around the ship at like super fast speeds. Luckily, you're a trained pilot, so you can kind of keep up with everything. You can throw some of your piloting maneuvers in there and try it out. You can also use the arcane drive to pump a little extra speed, and you do a 300-foot round. Ultimate speed is like engine lights fire off the back of the ship. It's fast. It's fast as fuck.
I think before Ed takes it for like a quick little test spin, if possible, I'm not sure how this works, just learning the class, but can he summon his little guy, Otto?
So in this moment, the party hasn't seen it, but we've talked about it. You sort of say, Otto, and sort of crawling out of your backpack, there's a little, and you guys see, if anyone's ever played Legends of Zelda Twilight Princess, you know the cannons, like the bird cannons with the two legs, and they're like, maybe you don't know, but it's fine. It's basically like a little miniature cannon with like little legs off the bottom of it. It's got a BD-8 from the Star Wars games, that little sort of. He sort of comes out, a little cannon face. You've taught it well not to aim its nose at you, so it doesn't. Well, in this form, it shoots like, it probably just shoots like peanuts or something. You're like, so, but anyway, yeah, it comes out and kind of like, it looks at you.
Otto, get to know our new home away from home. And now I'll take it for a test, but do a little pilot maneuvers and kind of just give after he tests it out, just take out a report so he can tell the captain how it works. You fly around, you feel it out, and when the time is right, you land it onto the side of the hull, and you come up. All of you at this point will see Ed's little buddy, the little miniature cannon on his shoulder that looks very patchwork, like it's seen like it's been built and rebuilt like 100 times. And it seems very conscious, very robotically conscious. Not as well. I'll say what's funny is it makes all of these like little robot-y sounds, Ed, which you've been like kind of able to figure out, sort of R2D2 style, so you know kind of what it's saying when it talks to you, but you still don't fully get it. But Chaplain and Apoxy, you hear as it's like, you guys hear, oh, look at the ship! It's wow, this is a really wonderful place. I'm so excited for adventures. And you guys can understand the sort of robotic beepings exactly. And Otto's got like different like letters that look like from different cuts of metal that spell their name Otto on like.
Okay, you see,
maybe
Otto,
it's like a little
common.
Yeah, something there like that.
Hell yeah! So you guys see he's got this little miniature cannon robot on his shoulder, and the captain says, "Good flying. Well, I hope you hope it all works out well for you."
Money well spent, Captain. Money well spent.
All right, let's get this thing in the air. And he stomps twice on the deck, and the ship begins to lift up and away from the neutral zone of Glyph. And he's going to say, all right, Mr. Voidlight, or Sunquo, let's see where our enemy is at.
Very well. And I take out the wild space orrery and see if I can't locate this thing.
Make me a check. Let's call it either an investigation or perception check to scan the orrery and find the source of your animosity.
Sure. Give me a second. Let's check something. Where is it? It's an aberration, right?
It is an aberration.
Okay, it's my favorite enemies, but
or you're doing revised. Are you doing revised?
Yeah,
no, you're not
but,
doing okay. Go ahead.
Tracking is usually survival.
That's fair. Well, I think in my brain the survival is it's because you're using the orrery and you're like looking at a map as opposed to like tracking tracks and such like that. But I'll tell you what, go ahead and use survival, and we'll say maybe you like find like a different angle to tracking it down. You kind of like look at all the nearby asteroids and the nearby large bodies, and you kind of take it from a tracker perspective.
It's more that like I'm not just looking at like let's say the map of the wild system as a whole. I actually know vaguely where to look. I kind of like have cut down the need to like look at the whole thing and take a wild guess.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Wow, 11.
11. You kind of like try and take it from a different angle. Maybe you've been kind of struggling to utilize this thing as you're just like trying to like perceive and investigate, and you're like, okay, let's take this from how I know this all works. And you look for the large bodies and things like that, things that could obscure its signature. And you kind of struggle with it a little bit to figure it out, but Sunquo sort of looks impressed and says, it's not an angle that is usually used, Mr. Voidlight, but I think one that is, I think perhaps should be utilized a little more. Well done.
Well,
she'll provide you the help action. Go ahead, roll like one more time.
Okay. Alien creatures in the astral sea tended to that's no better. 6.
6.
I'm just suffering the same way that Alan is.
Yes, well, that's it's pretty unfortunate. What was your highest roll? Sorry.
My highest roll was 11.
11. You're kind of struggling to find it. Maybe it takes a little while. You guys are looking at it. In fact, like while everything's loading up, you two are sort of puzzling over. It's not just you; she's struggling too to find it. She says, "Very strange how difficult these ones being, especially considering the size they're meant to be."
Can I try one more thing?
Sure.
I kind of almost barely like audible, so I don't hit. Let Sunquo hear. I close my eyes and go, "I know you wish to see this battle. My lady, show me the way."
All right. I'll tell you what. Make me a persuasion check to persuade your patron to help out.
14.
14. You're like, come on.
I know you want to see this.
Yeah, come on. I know you want it. And you hear the turtle sort of go, there. Excellent. And you kind of look down at it and you realize it's sort of like realigned itself, like not too far from where you were. You weren't far off, but just like you see its signature sort of emerging from behind an asteroid field. It says, it's not far at all. It's only a 2-day trip to Garden. It seems to be hiding out amongst the islands of Garden. Very interesting. Well done, Mr. Voidlight.
It's a very grim expression on my face. Well, 2 days till righteous combat.
Quite right. Might as well go tell the Spelljammer. Off you go.
Kind of thump the deck twice.
Yeah, you thump it twice. You expect their eliciting.
We've located our target. I like do some shenanigans with my fingers. Pull
Yeah, you
this
give them a
line.
heading. Yeah, you point and give them a heading and tell them which direction to head. Absolutely. And the ship sort of begins to lurch in the directions that you tell, and you see the streaks of starlight sort of begin to cast by as you enter cruise speed. And your ship is well on its way. I think Captain Lunarbow will step to the top of the ship and he'll say, "All right, crew. So you may have noticed we've taken some new crew members aboard. We have a new warforged who will be joining our crew, and apparently is designed for combat. So we'll be assisting us. Please treat them as any other member of the crew. We have ourselves a new ship, a personal ship that will be utilized in the battle ahead, and we also have an experienced monster hunter on our side as well. In 2 days, we will be arriving at the position of the Cosmic Horror. This will be a battle like we haven't faced before. I recommend you hit it hard and hit it fast and from a range if at all possible. We will speak again before we fall upon our enemy, but be ready. This will be a danger like we've never faced, and if we succeed, it's going to be very good for all of us. All right, to your stations. And with that, you all sort of can spread amongst the ship. You've all been given stations. Epoxy, your sort of heads-up displays. You're sort of like you see everybody going to work, and as combat is not ensuing, your heads-up display sort of goes through another dialogue of information to sort of install it within your mind and basically uploads your sort of like charismatic abilities, and it says you are fit for command.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted.
No problem.
I go to Zollis and ask him, Master Zollis,
Oh, it's just Sal. Don't worry, Sal's.
permission to board the Weaver.
Oh. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, seems like Ed was going on there. Maybe if you ask him, he'll let you go with him.
All right. I go to Ed.
Okay.
Everything okay?
Ed, brother, may I wait on top of your Weaver for the moment to come?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a little tight, but you probably hold on to the back there. Is there a reason, or do you have to go somewhere? Feels like you just got
I
it.
must be ready for any moment.
I like that. I had a friend that was like, I'm born ready. And I never knew what that meant, but he was always fighting people. So, but I appreciate that. Yeah, we seems like we got like a pretty big one coming our way. So, are you saying you want to fly out with me when the fight comes?
Yes.
Um, sure. Yeah.
Also, I've noticed your Weaver looks a bit damaged. I could help you in this project to make it more fit for battle.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like working with others actually, and it's not my weaver. It's like it's our ship. Maybe it's the captain's weaver. I'm not really sure, but it's not mine per se. But,
Our Weaver.
absolutely. Yes, I'll be sure to find you before I board and get off. Take off. So.
Epoxy's just gonna start polishing and branding the Weaver as they go through.
And that works just fine. Calvin be like, oh. As like Epoxy, like, I mean, you don't have this in your arm, but I almost imagine your arm does the like swivel thing, and then it's like a buffer.
Yeah, I was thinking that
I
same
don't
thing.
imagine you actually have that, but but yeah, you go over there and you start like Wolverine, like whatever your like fucking animal claws, and start like
Some
chipping all the
sparks.
rust off. And the captain's like, oh, all right, sure. And you just stand on the side of the ship and maybe clean it off a little bit, get some polish, and And yeah, you prepare the Weaver. All of you go about your business as well. Is there anything you like to do? You guys have a day of well, actually, I gotta say, like, you guys just kind of get away from the neutral zone, and then the ship. Well, no, that's the whole point of it. Yeah, so you guys have 2 days. It's around the end of the day, but that the ship will still fly throughout the night. Is there anything you'd all like to do?
I'm gonna find Basan.
Okay, easy enough. You leave Epoxy to clean the Weaver, and you go find Basan, who is wherever she wants to be.
If it's during work hours, she's at the Mangonel. If it is during downtime, she would be either with the commandant training, or potentially chilling out in the common room.
Got it. So we'll say you find Basan stationed at the Mangonel, generally intimidating the rest of the crew. Not by any attempt to do so, but just by the nature of her intense attitude. And yeah, you find her there just kind of making sure weapon inspections are going well.
As Ed's cautiously approaching me, he's got his tinker tools like still in his hand. I was wondering if you wanted me to, touch up maybe your shield, armor,
Bisan is absolutely. Yes, thank you. I've been thinking about everyone can fix things. I've been thinking I should learn to fix things too.
Oh yeah, it's really good at pick up trades and stuff. Yeah, sometimes I'm sure you've got your combat down for sure. He's gonna start on her shield, because I imagine that's loose first, and he's infusing these suckers. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I know what these infusions are. These are above the table. This. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you want a +2 AC real quick is what I'm offering. I gives it to the shield, one to the shield, one to the armor, and honestly, I think Basan could maybe pick this up. I don't know if it's culturally speaking, but like, Glyph are so rare and spending time. Ed's not entirely like he's. Maybe she can pick up that he spent time with a gift once before, like so he might not know like I don't know if that's what you can pick up on. He's not too intimidated or comfortable.
You just speak the language.
Yeah. Oh.
So we'll say that in this moment you so the infusions you're putting on Basan, you're doing like a +2 increase to shield and armor.
No, +1 to shield, +1 to armor. So +2.
+1 to shield, +1 armor. So Ed begins to tinker tools, various artificery devices, giving sort of magical enhancements to your armor. And as he does so, you do notice that he takes care to aesthetically design the armor and shield to. Well, it's up to you, Ed. Would they be sort of Githyanki or Githzerai appearance, depending on who you?
It would definitely not be Githyanki. Here, let me send you a quick PM, Ryan, before I can.
Well, how about this? We'll say for now, you just upgrade it. There's no particular attention to Gith's design whatsoever, because I haven't received your backstory, so I don't really know how to help contribute to this, or we haven't talked about if this is, So we'll say just for now, it's just a basic upgrade. There's nothing particularly aesthetic about it.
Yeah. Definitely. Like I don't, and I don't think Ed is he wouldn't be showing that he had spent time with a Githyanki knowingly. That's what I was trying to place out. But yeah.
So we'll say in this instance, there wouldn't be anything that sort of points to the idea that Ed has had anything to do with the gift at this time.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll visit that later on, but like I said, I want to take a look at it in the backstory before we go.
Okay, no, that's
cool. Yeah. So But regardless, Ed hands over to you. And to be clear, this isn't like he just made the armor nicer. He like there's magical devices like maybe the back of your shield, like up against your arm, there is this like it's almost like a field generator, and when you go into battle and you put your arm into it, it sort of ignites, and like a almost invisible sort of secondary field appears in front of the shield, giving it more durability and sort of extend its abilities. Same with your armor. There's like various like tiny little, and you can feel free to take away the if you want to, Ed, by all means, if you want to describe your own devices. But maybe these little almost field generators are like little installed at pivotal points to kind of give that extra little oomph of protection.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's gonna have a also like there is a touch to his work. It has a specific sheen and shine to it. It's got kind of like a goldeny macaroni and cheese type color that like appears. And while Ed is like, yeah, I'm just touching it up here. It's like Ryan described. It's fucking amazing, like artificer work. But Ed is gonna undersell it as much as he can. So there you go. Just a little touch up here and there. I figured, it's important, I guess. But yeah.
So Bisan will inspect it and then like draw her sword and just go through a couple of like basic shield forms and nice.
Yeah, it's
It'll
my brother was a lot better at this, but I definitely picked up a few things.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. You're welcome. Anytime. Probably leave you to it, and yeah. It'll probably go if there's nothing else to say. Like, just...
She probably is like hanging out at the mangonel, kind of like.
And again, yeah, like Ryan emphasized, even though Edison is nothing, it's definitely banger work.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, it's great work. Like this is technology like you've never seen it before. This is you thought this ship was the cutting edge? It's not. It's whatever Ed's making.
No, that's very, very cool. That was her being demonstrative.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Is there anything else anyone would like to do on this first day of travel through Wild Space?
Yeah, once I've checked out the ballista and what have you, I'll go and find Varshi's dragon. I forgot the name, to be fair. And I'll
No problem.
just try and beat the dragon again, but a little bit closer every time I'm doing it.
Got it. Try an inch closer. Make me a animal handling check. Advantage for bribery. You have something
12.
I want.
12.
12. It's kind of friendly. Like you're like rolling them over, and when you're at the original spot, you like roll it over, and it like takes it and does the same thing. It sort of breathes on it. It's not as intense this time. It isn't like a full breath weapon on it. It's just like a little like almost like puff out of the nose, sort of almost like liquid nitrogen freezes it, and then he like munches it down like a hard candy, and then you like inch closer, like 5 feet, and roll it to him, and you're like, and you're like, oh shit, okay, and you go back to your original spot, and then he happily eats apples again. You're like, okay, we're doing good, but we're not there yet. Got it. So you don't take any step forward, but you don't take any step back either, which is we're working on it. We're
And then just before the end of the day, before we all retire, I'll just pop my head over the side and say to Epoxy, do you need to sleep or rest or turn off for a bit?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, if you need somewhere to go, the calls are downstairs. So make yourself comfortable, find a place.
I will watch over you as you rest.
Oh fuck.
Oh.
I
Okay.
think it very easy to say that Zalace, you like, time for a rest. And you maybe wake up at some point in the night and you're like, and you see like predator just like standing over your.
Do you need a drink, sir?
No, I'm good. You can. I'm fine. I just need to sleep. Thank you.
All right.
Put my head a little bit further down.
Maybe like for a second you forget Apoxy exists. Like as you wake up. Oh, it's you. Okay. Still terrifying. Murder bot, maybe. Yeah, you see the metal predator robot looking down at you, the fucking warbot. Incredible. So let's see how the day goes as you travel across wild space. Nope, nothing is going to be of issue today. So day 1 goes by fine. Is there anything anyone wants to do on day 2, the day before the battle?
I would like to try and make contact with my patron.
Out of interest, how do you think? Because it's usually been her contacting you. How do you think Varsh goes about trying to get in touch?
For one, I try to go somewhere out of the way when no one's looking.
Fair enough.
And I bring Etherith with me.
You bring Etherith, no problem.
And the only way I can think that I used last time, and I sort of like just nick my thumb with my sword to draw a bit of blood, and then kind of daub like the symbol of the moon on the floor somewhere, just out of the way.
Fair enough. You go to the bottom deck. The Scrow have been removed. You might note. They are no longer aboard the ship. The captain's done something with them. Yeah, you head down there. Cargo hold is fairly empty during the middle of the day. You, bleed your finger, and you try and make contact. Tell you what, make me a, let's call it a performance or a persuasion check.
Well, I'm bad at both of these, so there's literally no difference.
I'll give you advantage because you've bled yourself.
Okay, in that case, 17.
The candle lights seem to begin to flicker, and then they all, just for half of a second, they go out and reignite in a purple flame throughout the cargo hold. Your dragon that was just sort of there idly kind of notices this and almost like bows its head low, almost mechanically, and then goes completely still like a statue. And and this purple isn't quite as bright as the regular candle flame. There's many shadows down here now in this darker space. And from the darkness, you do see this purple flame. You feel the air sort of chill around you. You feel a dark presence. And once more, you hear the 3 voices sort of overtop each other. The 3 feminine voices sort of combine and say, Vashvoilat. You call. You do not always call to us.
I thought, given this might be this might be my last day to live, that I would ask for, I figured I would beat you to it. Do you have any requests or advice for the battle to come?
You will receive no more aid from us than what we have already granted to you, Mr. Voidlight, which has been much. You are expected to do one thing and one thing only. Entertain.
Very well, my lady. May my death entertain you as you wish.
We would have more use of a living servant. But if you believe your death to create a greater spectacle than your worth, so be it. Varsh Voidlight. Decide for yourself your value to us.
I grit my teeth. Are you ordering me to survive?
We are ordering you to do only what we have asked. Entertain. You live if you wish. If you wish to throw your life away in the gifts we have bestowed, so be it. We will find other creatures to amuse us. But you have done well so far. Even your minor rebellions against your fate have amused for now.
Well then, sit back and enjoy the show.
We shall.
And I kind of, I don't know how, but I guess I just take my thumb off the floor, try and break contact.
You take your thumb off the floor, and in an immediate shape, all of the candles flicker back into their original warm light. The dragon seems to reanimate, and the cold leaves you behind, all as well as if it ever was.
I pet Etherith and I say, in Draconic, our lives will be in jeopardy tomorrow, my friend. Let's do all we can to not only survive, but I suppose survive with style.
And then bringing forth, perhaps, I think these are his first words in Draconic. It says, survive. Or it's been speaking to you a little bit here.
Yeah,
and there,
it's been mimicking me.
It's been mimicking you. In this moment, it says, survive. Where the Dark Ladies.
Very well. We survive for the Dark Lady. And I give it a little quick extra pat on the head.
Yeah, and it accepts that, and the bond between you and it is becoming much more clear, much more attached. Not as standoffish, still reptilian, but there's still a friendliness there now. Okay. Is there anything else from anybody as you travel on this last day towards the greatest battle this ship has ever faced?
No.
It's like a no. Well, as you travel there, let's see. Oh, wow. Ooh, that's good. Actually, the ship comes out of wild space later that night, or comes out of wild space, comes out of cruise speed later that night. You would have all been asleep by now, getting rested and such. If anyone cares to, well, actually, you'd all be called to the top deck just in case. And what you would see is you see another hammerhead ship, one that you've fought a similar modeled ship before, but this is a new one. It is woods and plank. It is missing crew, it is damaged, and it's just sort of it's very reminiscent of your first meeting with the captain, Basan. Your ship just barely the tonnage enough to sustain functionality as a spelljammer. The ship is just making its way along, planks of wood are sort of falling off of it as it goes. The captain screams over and says, "How are you all doing over there?" They go, "We're alive. Only a few of us can claim that." And he goes, "What happened?" I said, "Like nothing you've ever seen. You should turn around. There's a cosmic horror out there. We're on our way to the rock to tell them." He goes, "They already know. We're going to go fight them." He goes, "You're going to go fight them? Are you fucking mad?" He goes, yeah, I guess. I go, "Well, good luck. What's the name of your ship?" And he goes, "The New Dawn." He goes, "Well, we hope you see you on the rock. If we don't see you there in a couple days, we'll let them know that you fought and died bravely." He goes, "Appreciate it." And that ship re-enters cruise speed about a mile off. Captain says, "Well, back to bed. We'll be fine. We're prepared, not like they were." He'll find his way to his ship. And all of you will go to bed, perhaps having seen the decimation of a very large cargo ship that was probably well armed. Maybe a little less easily, knowing that you're up against something that devours and destroys ships singularly. But it seems that this is your fate to try and collect this bounty regardless. And with that, we will end the session there. And next week, we will enter into great and terrible space battle.
I'm really, really excited for this battle.
Good luck,
It'll be
everyone.
great.
It's only something
Oh,
from a
boy.
realm where mortals aren't supposed to look.
Yeah, it's only from the realm where mortals go insane by merely looking out at it.
Fine, because like
Isn't that the same place where the Illithid are from?
Originally, yes. It's actually where all aberrations are supposedly from, the far realm.
I had a Ed asking, "So what are we buying all this stuff for?" But I didn't get to pull it off, so I got a perfect answer.
So what's what are we buying all these weapons for? I think you've been on the ship for about 10 days now, Ed. I'm sure, like, whether it's these guys or just like the regular crew, would have told you. It's like, "Oh, we're gonna go fight a cosmic horror because we're idiots." Same for you, Apox. If you would have talked to anyone besides who you've talked to.
I figured after seeing all the equipment that was being bought that day, I would have figured I'd be ready for a battle.
Fair enough. Can't blame you. You recognize that they're going into a Ed's like, what's all this for? But Epoxy, you're like, your scanner's like, you are.
I must board the Weaver and be ready.
Yeah, you're soft. Like, you are what you are. You're a warrior and you're a commander. Those are the things that you have been built for. So you are very good at tactical analysis, and you're like, extra weapons means big fight, and you just go sit on the Weaver and prepare for combat.
I, the player, had no clue, by the way.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I, the player, never have a clue, so you're fine.
I, the player, never. That's funny.
Well, that was awesome, guys. I'm gonna go and get a perfectly timed